What's up, everybody? Talkin Brash, episode 22, I believe. It is Monday, October 5th. Been a weird day. My fucking, I don't know, I've been like freaking myself out because I think my appendix is about to fucking explode or something because like my right side is just shot. So, I don't know. If I drop dead here, my appendix burst right on the fucking show. Whatever. Hey, it was nice knowing you guys, and I loved you all. Today, we're supposed to have our good friend JV, but he might be sleeping or something. What's up, Scott? Curtis, Richard Dicko North. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, I don't know where Joe is, but I have Joe's replacement already in queue. But before I do that, I just want to do the obligatory paying of the bills. LokiGuitarOfficial.com. You see, you can stream the episodes here right on the website. You can contribute to the show. It just helps pay the fucking bills. You know, mics cost money. I've been upping the production value on everything just to try to make this show look fucking awesome for you. What's up, Chris? My Patreon's also here. There's exclusive content for Patreon subscribers. Go subscribe on YouTube and Twitch. And I do have merch. There's a merch store here. And yeah, I got a hoodie. It is hoodie season. I am finally rocking a hoodie. It's pretty fucking cool down here in Tennessee. What's up, Liz? So yeah, we got hoodies, masks, mugs, shirts, bags, hats. So yeah, hit up the merch store. I've been doing a lot of things, man. I just released that that cover to the public of Reach Out. Thank you so much for everyone that fucking purchased that on Bandcamp, and that's been you know, giving me some streams over there on YouTube. I will be releasing also my the material that I had on Bandcamp. It's gonna go up on Spotify. So those 3 original songs and a couple of covers will go up on Spotify tomorrow, I believe. So yeah, thank you for everyone for always supporting me. You guys are badass. You're the reason why this is why we can make this happen. And now I'd like to introduce to you the new Joe. Hold on, I gotta unmute him. Unmute yourself. So this is JV. This is JV Bastard the Second. Everyone meet Jeff. Say hello, Jeff.
Anybody who wants a refund, they're available at the door.
Right. So. Yeah, all your refunds you can get them. Damn, son. I don't know what happened to Joe. I talked to him yesterday, and maybe he thought that was the podcast because we had like a 2-hour fucking phone conversation. Like, I can't just like talk to that dude and be like, yeah, how you doing, man? All right, I'm gonna do this. Fucking, please do this for me. I'll do this for you. See you later. No.
Hopefully he shows up. It's not too late.
It's a fucking full-blown podcast, even on private conversations.
Right.
But
well, it's not too late. Maybe he'll show up.
Yeah. He probably doesn't even know what day it is.
There's a good chance of that. I don't know what day it is half the time myself.
So, I apologize for people who are expecting Joe. You get this guy instead. But it's all good because you have this unique experience of knowing us when we were coming down from the Graves tours and the Gotham Road tours.
Right.
Down in your hood. We would crash at your fucking house. I know we had like a fucking barbecue at your place on the Graves days.
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
And you know a lot of the things that happen behind
I heard
the scenes.
A lot of the music while it was a work in progress. You know,
That's
every
true.
step of the way you were sending me the riffs and the demos, and I still have all that stuff buried deep in a hard drive somewhere, all the original versions. So
yeah. I have like a group of people that like when I'm working on demos, and this has always been like, I just want to see what the reaction is from a certain group of people. And you've always been one of those dudes, like, because if it sucks, you'll be like, this gotta, this sucks.
This is fucking shitty. What is it that Lars Ulrich's father said? Delete that. Did you ever see that movie, Some Kind of Monster?
Yeah.
They're playing him that new Metallica shit, and he's like, yeah, delete that. Yeah, and I mean, I come from the more metal side of the background too, so
Yeah.
that's where you and I hit it off. We're just a bunch of dumb metal guys
Right.
going to punk shows. So,
And I would always just fucking. You have like almost every demo I ever wrote.
probably,
And
yeah,
there's
I
like
have a lot of stuff.
there's ones where it's just guitar riffs, I think.
Yep, I
No
have a
drums,
lot
no
of
nothing.
stuff saved over the years,
Yeah.
and I said I don't know who's heard what, and whatever. Some of it ends up pieced in somewhere else. And I've always like found that kind of stuff interesting to
Yeah,
watch something
yeah. I guess
change.
that is totally really cool when I see other artists do it. Like, oh, I recognize this from this demo, and it's now in this song. It's
Right.
like a complete song. I always fucking dig that.
Well, and I mean, we brought up you brought up a few shows ago the original "You Awful Me," how fast it was, and
Right, the Rip Snorter.
how different it was, and how you guys changed it. So I mean,
Yeah,
I got to see stuff like that change.
yeah, that Rip Snorter demo. We did that in
Oh, right, right. That's what it was called.
we did that in Minnesota, I
A
believe.
matter of fact, I have every "You Awful Me" and what's the other one called? What's the other song that came out of that had the lyrics?
Creo Burn.
Creo Burn. But I also have Return to Earth from that session too, but it doesn't have vocals. And surprisingly, the one that ended up getting released sounds almost identical to the demo.
Yeah,
It changed very little.
very little. We've released two versions with two different sets of lyrics.
And what of "You Awful Me"?
Creo Burn.
Oh, Creo Burn. I probably have them both then, if you say so.
Yeah,
I have just said some of that stuff I haven't dug out and listened
because
to in years.
we did that short run. It was like a bunch of Grave songs, and Creo Burn and You Awful Me were on. It was like 5 songs. We did like 1,000,000 Light Years from her.
Attack of the Butterflies was
Attack of the
one.
Butterflies. Yeah,
Um,
And so yeah, that was on there, and that first demo of Creo Burn had one set of lyrics, and then when we released the Seasons of the Witch EP, it had completely different lyrics.
it was on Seasons of the Witch EP.
Yeah.
I can't even remember some of this stuff.
It was
anymore.
like the outlier. Everything else was like super metalish, and then Creo Burn.
Yeah, I remember. yeah, and at that point, it didn't fit in anymore. At that point, it didn't fit in. It didn't. And then you guys ended up doing what were the other? It was like 2 more songs or 3 more that went. The one just went to radio, right? Just went to WSU, OU, or whatever it was at first.
Yeah, they were playing Seasons of the Witch on WSOU. They were playing You Awful Me too.
There was like 2 more songs you guys recorded after the fact.
Oh, yeah, On My Way they were playing a lot on
On My Way, right. And at first it was like you can only request it there. I remember that stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, I was sitting on it, but they were, everybody had to call and request it on that station at the time to be able to hear it.
Liz Jesse, Chris, Austin David Smith, Rick Carrillo. There's no cheesecake here, brother. People are saying that You Awful Me is a very underrated song. Do you remember when Raven was using that?
Yes, I actually messaged you.
Were you the one that told me?
Yes. I used to get home from work at like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And at that time, TNA Wrestling was a pay-per-view only show. They showed a show once a week, only charged a few dollars for it. And I had one of them to scrambler boxes, so I could watch it for free all day long.
Right.
And I remember I came home and put the wrestling, because what do? You come home and put wrestling on if it's on. And it came on with Raven, and it was like a little video package, and I immediately sent you a message.
Yeah.
Where'd you go? I lost your...
I'm checking my phone.
Gotcha.
Joe was sleeping.
Is he awake now?
He's awake. He said he fell asleep, and he's setting his shit up right now.
Good. I hope.
But yeah, we'll keep going with this. I'll get him in the waiting room.
Did him justice, right? Yeah. But yeah, Raven used "You All for Me" in a promo package, and I sent you a message immediately, and you were like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I'm like,
Right.
"Dude, I'm telling you,
I'm
your
like, there's
song is
no.
on wrestling right now."
In fact, I did not believe you, and you like I made you look up the clip because I was like, that's you're mistaken.
Right. And I'm like, "No, dude, your fucking song is on wrestling right now. They're using your fucking song." Which is like, was wild to me because you guys were totally, do it yourself. There was no record label or nothing.
Yeah.
So somebody, whether it was Raven himself or somebody, found your song online
Yeah, I don't know.
and
I don't know how that worked out.
went with it, right? Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it was amazing because, I mean, outside of the Michael Graves fans at that time, who, nobody knew of you guys yet,
Yeah.
and you guys were, like I said, completely do it yourself. I mean, you were burning your own CDs and everything. So
Yeah,
it
that
was
was
pretty
that was
wild.
absurd. Burning all those CDs was
I remember that you sit
took
and
years
burn
off my life.
hundreds of CDs.
Thousands, bro. Wait, I printed over 2,000 of those by myself.
And you know what's crazy is that people sell those CDRs now on eBay, and I see them going for 100, $200 and shit.
Crazy.
And that's probably the most easy to bootleg
It is.
CD of them all. You
It is,
know,
but it isn't because my handwriting is on every single one of them. So I
right? Well,
know which one. I know which ones are bootleg because they're not my handwriting.
it's good to know that if things ever get so bad that you can actually bootleg yourself and probably survive.
Right. You
So, I
can't
mean,
bootleg
because,
your. Well, I guess you can, but it's not. That's not bootlegging yourself, right? That you're just
because
anything I
the
make is an original, right?
right, well, exactly,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
So we're all good. We're clear on this because I see that a lot of times in the listings. This is the original CDR, and sometimes I haven't had a physical copy of it ever because you sent me everything. And actually, I did get my hands on one time because a friend asked me to buy it and then never paid me for it.
Right.
I came to one of your shows, and that was part of the deal was that I had to get him a CD and a shirt for him to cover my shift. But then I was like, dude, I'm not paying you all. I'm not paying for all that. I'll give you the shirt or the CD. Which do you want? And he's like, oh, I'll give me the shirt. So I ended up, but I think I sold the motherfucker.
Right. Tony's
But
saying that there's bootlegs of the Gotham Road DVD too. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm
oh,
sure.
absolutely. There's
Yeah.
bootlegs of everything, everything.
I mean, you can't stop it.
Yeah, and I mean,
My favorite thing to do though is telling people that their copy is not an original. Like, I just spent $200 on this on eBay, but I'm like, that's not real. That's not real.
well,
I do that to Arturo all the time. Arturo bought a Gotham Road CD on eBay. I'm like, dude, I know you. Like, he's like, oh, but it's an original. I'm like, anything I make is the original.
Why would he buy one on eBay when he was there?
So he, yeah, he was there, right? Fucking and then I had the heartbreak to tell him. I'm like, yo, that actually is not. That's not real.
Wow.
That's a bootleg.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to over the years come up with a lot of original shit, and I think I've discussed with you privately. I also made a lot of money off of all that original shit, like those phone cards and the Graves T-shirts and everything. I mean, Doug Evil had given me a guitar pick with Michael's signature on it. It
Right.
was like a prototype of something they were going to do. It had his name on it, and I can't remember. It was blank on the other side, but it was just like a prototype. Man, somebody paid me like $100 for that fucking thing.
That's crazy.
I mean, it is crazy, and
it always
I
shocks
used
me.
to.
It always shocks me of like how what they were able to sell. And
I know.
Arturo would often ask me like, "Hey man, you think I'd get fucking however many bucks for this?" I'm like, "No," but sure as shit, that guy got it. I just don't. I'm not that kind of dude. You know what I mean? Like, I'm
Yeah,
not a collector, and I don't.
you want to know something crazy, and I mean, I probably was not the only one to tell him this, But way back in the day, I tried to tell Mike and Chud both that they could easily sell stuff that means nothing to them for hundreds of dollars on eBay and you know, on their store, on their merch store. Nah, we would never do that. We're not going to do that. And then lo and behold, Mike's doing Kickstarter a few years later and selling his pants on Kickstarter, and people are paying for his ball sweat.
I can't
And
believe people buy his pants.
and I told him they would.
They are the worst
I
smelling
tried
things
to
on the planet.
Yeah, oh
They
God, I
smell
remember.
so fucking bad.
My wife said that those guys. She said, you know what? When you guys came to the house, and like I don't think it was when you came to the house. It was when we were in the RV, and people started getting their stage clothes out of their bags and stuff. My wife looked at me and said, "Their clothes smell like your balls after you've been out working all day." I said, "That's fucking great." But yeah, those things stunk. And then he went and sold them, and I think he was getting like $500 for a fucking pair of pants that he wore and shit.
Yeah.
I told him they would do that, and the same goes for Chud. I told him, and then lo and behold, after a couple years goes by, he opens up a section on his website, uh, you know, memorabilia from all these tours, and he's selling his costumes and shit. So
Fucking I remember we sold the straight jacket he was
would always get stuff rock bottom prices. If I had to pay more than 20, $30 for it, it wasn't worth it.
right.
And then I turned around and I told you before, everybody's got hard times. I fell into some hard times for a couple years, and I was paying my mortgage selling that kind of shit. I was making anywhere from 500 to $1,000 a week selling stuff that I collected. Sometimes you look back and you say, I kind of regret it. But then other times it's like, well, if I didn't do it, where would I have been?
Right.
So
yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Right. And now looking back on it even further, I mean, where would that shit be except sitting in my closet collecting dust?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's where
it does nothing. It just sits there.
I still have a ton of shit left that I didn't sell.
Right.
I mean, there's some things I won't sell. Like I got Pantera autographs and shit. I'll never sell that.
Yeah.
I've been offered a lot of money for that stuff. But you can't get a Jeff Hanneman or a Dimebag autograph now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can go and get 100 Michael Graves autographs. You know what I mean? And I had 100 Michael Graves autographs at one point.
Rick brings up an interesting point. I have everyone's electronic signature from when I was printing guitar picks, so I can just easily forge any piece of merchandise and just start eBaying the shit out of things with people's signatures on them.
Funny story about that. When I was down and out and, check to check, week to week, my brother had moved out and he had been gone for many years, and he left a bunch of stuff in my mother's closet. And I went into his closet and there was all this old Kiss stuff. And it wasn't in the greatest shape, but there was like the lunchbox, the board game, and some albums and stuff. And I knew the stuff was in there. And then one day I'm reading the newspaper and I'm looking through the classifieds, and a guy writes in the classifieds, looking to buy Kiss memorabilia. Any condition, original memorabilia, contact me. So the gears start turning. I found all the original members' autographs printed out somewhere.
Right.
And worked on my forgeries. I forged their autographs on every single piece of that shit, contacted this guy, and made a killing. I'm not proud of it. It was fucking deceitful and it was wrong. But I mean, hey, I was a guy with 2 kids and, having trouble paying the bills. I was about 20 years old. You know what I mean?
Gotta do what you
I had to do what I had to do. And I even went all out. Like I did these forgeries, and then I went and got yard dirt and rubbed it over the forgeries to try to fade them out, and was rubbing them with napkins to try to fade them out and make them look old. This dude, he bought it hook, line, and sinker. He sat there and was pointing things at me. He's like, look at the way that the A is curved on Ace's name.
I remember you telling me that's hilarious. This is authentic as fuck.
Yes, and I pitched him a sob story too about how my brother had left me this stuff when he passed away. I mean, it was awful.
You are a terrible person.
I'm a terrible human being. But, hey, hey, you know what? It was for a good cause, man. That guy
Right.
had money to blow, and my kids ate, and I had a roof over my head. So, I mean,
That's it. That's
is it really? It's like Robin Hood, man. I took from the rich and I gave to the poor, which was myself.
Listen, I completely understand where you're coming from. There were moments in my life where I had fucking absolutely nothing, and I did what I had to do to survive.
Right.
Not just
Well,
for
and when
me,
you
but my brother. You know what I mean? So
right, and when you're taking care of somebody else too, and
yeah,
somebody else, there was times where it's like as long as my kids ate and had clothes and everything with them looked good, it didn't matter if I was in rags and starving to death, 130 pounds soaking wet. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So yeah,
Fucking
I'm not proud of it, but it is a funny story. I mean,
yeah. I
if
mean,
that
dude.
guy, if that guy somehow comes across this podcast and finds me and recognize, dude, I'll give you the couple $100 back. I can,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'll consider it a loan. But
I was staring down, you know, my brother being fucking paralyzed, and I had to give myself a fucking reality check. Like, I'm just
right,
playing for Darrow. It's not like we weren't fucking making hand over fist. You know what I mean?
right,
But I'm like, and like I'm
right.
staring down the barrel of a fucking $1 million potential lawsuit against him because his hospital bills were $1 million. I'm like, what the
Jeez.
fuck are we going to do?
Yeah.
So I had to do whatever I fucking could. So yeah, you can't be too
Hospital
proud. You
bills.
can't, and
They're no
sometimes,
joke, man.
yeah, do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Let's get into this Graves Gotham Road stuff. Do you remember when I started the Gotham Road website and Chud fucking got pissed off because our merch section looked just like his? Do you remember any of this? Does this fucking sound familiar
It
to you?
sounds familiar. I do remember something about your website.
Yeah, he was
I
like,
remember.
it took because we had back then you like we didn't have online ordering. Like you printed out the merch form, you
Right.
filled it out, and you mailed
Right.
the form to me.
You mailed a check, money order, or very well concealed cash.
Right. Dude, can you imagine, bro? That's how we fucking used to do merch.
It's crazy.
I can't. I forgot about that.
It's
Now that
crazy.
now
And
that I'm talking about that, I had completely forgotten about that.
it seems like shipping options were also much more limited back then.
Yeah.
With the dawn of the online shipping, and
Yep.
online ordering, shipping has changed a lot. But back then, it would take you sometimes weeks after it was sent to get your shit. Now everybody wants their shit in 2 days because of Amazon.
It's crazy. So yeah, you used to print out this form, pick out what you want, and you mailed the form to me, and then I would fucking do the picking order and fucking ship them out from my
Yep.
house. What a
Yep.
strange time. That
I
no online ordering.
All right. You just reminded me of a story about your website. You played a very elaborate joke on me one night. You and I talked every night and day for fucking hours, because I was home during the day with kids and I was, on and off talking to you and getting music. And at night, same thing. If I wasn't out, I was on there with you and you were on all hours of the night sending me shit.
Right.
You actually, I remember this now. You went to your website and changed your message on your homepage to say that Gotham Road had broken up and that Michael quit the band or something like that.
Right.
And I came home and logged onto your site and was like, or I was talking to you and you were like, I'm not in the mood to talk. Go look at my site or something. And I was like, what? And I looked and it said this and I'm like, what the fuck happened now, motherfucker? And you're like, it's over, man. It's over. And then you went and updated it and changed it back quickly because somebody else messaged you or something and was like, what the fuck happened to the band? And you,
Right.
you did it just to play a fucking joke on me.
Yeah.
I was like, you motherfucker. I was like, again?
Austin David Smith is asking me why the Gotham Road site looked like Chud's site, but you're misremembering because it actually looked nothing like Chud's site. We had the moon.
I don't remember it.
We had the moon
Yeah.
thing with the clicking channels, and it was a picture of Michael, in like this blue filter. It was a really
I thought
dark,
it was the
ominous
four of you,
website.
wasn't it?
Say it
Wasn't
again.
there like a picture of like the four of you at one point? I think
one
it
point
might have
was
ended
that.
up on a T-shirt or something.
Yeah,
It was
but
like
then
the
at another
logo.
point, it was just Michael with his arm out in like this blue filter. But it looked nothing like
Yeah.
Chud's website.
Well,
But
Chud invented fucking music, so I
right,
mean,
yeah. I mean, also, it's just a fucking band website. There's only so much you
right.
can do. Like, you have links with information, and you
Back then,
sell
yeah.
things. That's pretty much what everyone's website looks like. So I
Back
don't know.
then, it was pretty cut and dry, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a phone call here at the
The fuck
bridge.
is this?
Wow.
Breaker.
Bear Creek.
Professional. This is a professional show, folks.
Bear Creek. Who?
We need
No.
guys. We need the
No, she's
phone
not.
number of Jeff's work,
Yeah,
and like
you ain't
we
getting
just
that.
we'll just all
You
call
know
him
what's
during the
terrible
show.
is I know what that was. I have a coworker who is delinquent on their bills, and that was a collection call.
Right.
So tell your coworkers to pay their bills so you do not get calls from collection agents while you're trying to do a podcast. And if my coworker happens to see this, pay your fucking bills so I stop getting these fucking calls, man.
Yeah, man. Someone was saying that Chud sells his sticks. He has like yearly drumsticks. Is this true?
Yes, yes, and
What's the
you don't
difference? What's the difference in them? He just writes
well,
the year on it.
for a minute he was just going out and getting probably the cheapest drumsticks you could get,
Right.
and he would paint them, put a piece of black duct tape or whatever color he decided to go with, whatever color scheme, would write a year on them and sign them, and that would be that year's stick. And he would do like orange with black for Halloween, or he would do, whatever, neon green and black or whatever. But then I think he went back to doing the I don't know, for a minute. I think he went back to doing where he was taking like the dowel rods, like he used in the Misfits, the ones that were
Right.
like broom handles.
Yeah.
And I believe he did them for a minute again. But
Because
yeah,
those are
that's
the only
just
ones I ever remember.
well. I had his sticks from the grave shows that I went to because, being the opportunist I was, I gathered up everything that I could, knowing that it was going to serve me in the future. So I did have his sticks from the two Dharma tours, and then after I had started, became friends with him and started working with him, he would give me sticks all the time.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I had a couple years worth. And I did have a misfit stick. I did have one of them rods. You could have knocked somebody's freaking. You could have knocked somebody unconscious with one of those things. But yeah. So I guess he still does that yearly. I don't know. I can't tell you the
Right.
last time I've even looked at his website. So I would guess that. I mean, knowing Chud and knowing I'm sure he's probably already got next year's stick all picked out, and probably the next 5 years worth of sticks. I
They're
don't
gonna
know how
have
many he
little.
actually
They're gonna have little
sells.
virus things on this year's stick.
Don't give him any ideas. You know,
You can have that one, Chud.
that's a freebie.
That's a freebie. Don't say I
Yeah,
never did nothing for you.
yeah. But I wouldn't. You know what? Now I'm going to have to go and look and see if he is still doing this. And now I'm going to have to look and see if he does a virus stick.
Just give me some credit for it. That's all.
It wouldn't shock me. No,
Yeah.
you're not getting no credit because you fucking killed that band.
I'm a heathen.
You are.
I'm a heathen.
If I had known I was coming on, I'd have brought the official Talkin Brash
It's all
t-shirt.
good. It's all good.
And I'd have got on here and shilled them and told everybody to go out and buy a fucking shirt because they're $16. I bought two of them, and with the shipping, it was just under $40, and I got them about a week's time.
It's about the price of one shirt for other people.
Right. For some other artists we know, we'll charge you $40 for a single T-shirt. You can get two shipped to you for just under $40. And if you're going to be on here watching Talkin Brash, get the fucking shirt, man.
By the way, everyone, Joe, I just got a message from Joe. He said he should be here any minute now. So apparently, it takes him a long time to wake up. I don't know.
I imagine, it takes a while to clear his
No,
head.
he said he was charging his phone and doing all that shit.
Yeah.
So any minute, Joe should be on with us, and we'll get on with the show.
Well,
Little
I
unbeknownst
hope
to
I've
him that I
done him
might drop dead
justice.
during the podcast because my fucking side is killing me, dog.
What have you been drinking besides whiskey?
Nah, man, I'm afraid it's my appendix. I'm trying to ignore it, but it gets worse every fucking.
I get those side pains too, man. I know this might sound like a foreign concept to you because you're not on stage, but
Right.
do you drink water at home?
Of course.
I say try drinking plenty of water. Might have you run into the bathroom, but a lot of times I get those pains too. I think it's just something that
We're just
us
old.
middle-aged men get. Yeah.
We're just
drink
old now.
drink
This is
plenty
what
of water.
happens. Oh, fuck
Try to
this.
give your liver a break because it's like every Friday night you're like punching yourself in the liver.
Chud's site has a link to order a 2019 stick, but it just redirects to the website. There's a ton of grave stuff for sale in the creepy attic.
Oh yeah, the creepy attic. That's right. Now
What's
you're
the
reminding
creepy
me.
attic?
He has all of the dead stock from graves at
Oh, so
very
that's like
inflated prices.
that's when
Yeah,
like Michael says like he used to say there was a term he used to say, but it like all of a sudden we just found all this stock of stuff like in the fucking
right.
vault. Like what
Yeah.
fucking vault? You just happened to find all this fucking stuff in the vault.
So
Fuck outta here.
basically, on the creepy attic, if you want to buy like the original Graves work shirt with the patch on it and the original screen print, where that shirt went for about $25 back in 2001, it is now like $60, $50, something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he sells Web Dharma copies on there for like $80 or something like that. I mean, like, yeah, it's all shit from back in the day. And I mean, I looked through that one time. I remember now he had like some of the original Gravediggers Union shirts, but all he had left were like smalls and mediums, and he still tried to charge like $40 a shirt or something. And it's like,
oh, so Chud, I guess my friend Jesse is saying that that's how we got the phone card. Remember, we had those Graves phone cards.
yeah,
I guess
I got
Chud
good
was
money for those cards.
I guess Chud was selling one of those sites.
I got good money for those cards. I had a stack of them that were given to me because they were kind of deemed useless on the second tour. Like it came to the point where like I don't think you guys were selling many of them, and somebody might have been Doug, anybody I don't know, handed me a stack of them. Was like, here, take these. I was like, yep. I put them in my pocket. They went in the fucking box, and then I sold them later down the line for like
Right.
20 bucks a piece.
What a
That
what a
was
world! What a world that was. Phone cards,
that was a weird time.
mail-in, fucking merch orders, fucking.
We were at the dawn of the cell phone. We were just leaving the
Yeah.
pager era.
And I was like one of the last ones to get a cell phone.
So
I was one of those dudes that you paged and then you waited 5 minutes, called me on the fucking the payphone outside
Yes.
of the fucking A&P.
Yes,
So
I remember doing that.
I was that guy because I was so fucking poor. I didn't have anything, and fucking not even the electricity at the house sometimes was not fucking there.
And
But
I did that sometimes.
We would fucking, I'd get the page, and then run outside to the payphone and wait for the phone call.
Well, and people would send you the coded messages, and it would be like a Christmas story. You trying to decode the message with the numbers and the letters.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I remember doing a lot of shit. I think it might have been. I didn't get my first cell phone until right around the time of the first Graves tour, and I remember you were extremely limited in how much you could use it. Like somebody calls you, you're like, "Make it quick, motherfucker! I'm burning up my minutes."
I was that annoying tour mate that always borrowed someone else's phone. Yo, Tom, let me get your phone, bro.
Yeah.
And then like
I used to get the pages and then do that. I'd find the guy with the cell phone. Let me call this number back.
Yeah. I was constantly borrowing Tom's cell phone. I probably used Tom's cell phone more than Tom used his own cell phone.
I remember a girl I used to hang out with. I think she used to pay like 10 cents a minute or something on her cell phone back then.
The prices were crazy.
Yeah, yeah. And I'd get a page, and I'd be like, "Let me use your phone." And I'd sit on the phone for a good 20 fucking minutes, you
Right.
know.
I used to get so pissed off. You know, we'd be playing Snake,
I
and
remember that
like
too.
the van would like hit a bump, and like it just ruins your whole Snake game. Like fuck.
Yep, yep. And that was it came with Snake, and some of them came with like Solitaire or something really simple like that you could play.
Right.
Jeez, man, that's like it's a crazy how far we've come just in this short amount of time. You know, now we're basically all carrying around computers, you know, in our pockets that are more powerful than the computers we had 20 years ago.
Dude, no doubt. My phone is definitely way more powerful than the computer I had back in the day.
I mean, right? We're doing this podcast with my phone right now. You know, it's just crazy. You never think that 20 years ago we were going to get to this point. You know, it
Right.
seemed like we were at the cutting edge back then.
I remember touring. Roz would print out MapQuest directions from the exit of the highway of the city. So like, and then the rest we would have that huge fucking atlas, the U.S. atlas, and yeah, we would fucking just use the atlas to drive to the city, and then once we got to the city, we would use either the MapQuest directions or call the promoter, and he would give us step-by-step directions from the highway how to get to the venue. That's how we used to get from place to place.
When you guys came to my house, I got a phone call from one. It was either Michael or Chud from the exit asking me how to get to my house from there, and I had to break it down step by step.
Right.
I remember that. It's funny. And like back then, you truly did need a co-pilot, one person to fuck with the directions and the other person to do the driving. You know?
Yeah. We're gonna get Joe in here. Let's see if he comes on here. Joe Vasta, come on now. We'll do this while we wait. I guess his audio's connecting. Well, you know, better now than never.
Yep. You might be going 4 hours tonight.
No, I can't do it. I might drop dead.
That was a marathon the other night, bro. I felt like I was going to drop dead. Can we talk about
how drunk that dude got?
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah, he was getting, you know, he was becoming a lovable drunk.
Right. Well, you know.
And he was telling you how much he loved and appreciates you. I'm like, man, I have seen this at closing time in the bar 1,000,000 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, good dude though. You know, it's better that he's a lovable drunk than a dick.
Hello, Joe.
Hello.
How are you?
Hold
on, let me get. Yeah, there you are. Look at that. The fucking screen's just changed it on its own. I like this. This is production, guys.
Am I live? Am I here?
Live. Yeah, you're live and
right. Dude, I seriously have to apologize, man. I gotta thank someone too.
We got Jeff. We got Jeff here filling. He's Joe. He's Joe for the first half hour.
Joe.
Suitable, man. Suitable. Hello.
How you doing, brother?
Good, man. Suitable fucking replacement.
Welcome back to the land of the living.
Hello, dude. I actually, I looked at my phone. For some reason, I was on like I was thinking the show started at fucking 8. So when you text me at like 6:45, you're like, "Are you coming?" And I was like, "Yeah, man. I'm just running a little late. Be there around 7:30." I was like smoking a cigarette, just sitting here.
Right.
And Scott Futrell was watching the podcast, and he's like, "What's going on, buddy? How's the podcast going?" And I'm like, "What do you mean, man?" He's like, "It's like, I don't know. Loki's got Loki 2.0 on there." I'm like, "What?" And I fucking go to Facebook. I'm like, "Holy fuck, it's live right now, dude."
Yeah. You don't live in New Jersey right now.
Man, I was thinking 8 o'clock for some reason. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. But I'm here. Just woke up.
Fucking A.
I look like hell, but I'm here.
It's all right. I wasn't sure if we were gonna have this podcast anyway. Like I've been having this vicious pain in my side that I've convinced myself is my appendix. But like,
we talked about that the other day when
I refuse to do anything about it just yet because I'm hoping it's not my appendix.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's COVID.
Oof.
You look quite spooky. It's lovely behind you.
Thank you.
Curtis
Spooky,
Grant
spooky.
says hello. Liz Jessie
Hello,
was
Curtis.
here. She left. We were talking about remember when Chud was upset at us for, I guess he thought I ripped off his fucking merch
Which
store
time?
or whatever the fuck.
Merch.
But
What do you mean?
also I was just I've reminded myself of like how we used to fucking do merch orders. That people used to print out a piece of paper, fill out what they wanted, mail that piece of paper to me, and that's how they would do merch order. We would do merch orders back in the day. That's insane.
Huh? We didn't have like a website. Yeah, I
We
guess
did not have an order form. No.
It was like a PO. Yeah, okay, that sounds about right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I have the old sheets from like old Mr. Monster merch, and yeah, I guess you're right. Sometimes we just handwritten,
Yeah.
and it'd be like hidden cash, dude. Like just like folded into paper, straight up.
Well, that's
Jeff?
how the Misfits Fiend Club ran forever. Was the you sent money to their post office box, and Jerry would send you back a bunch of shit.
Fucking A.
Works.
Well, buddy, thank you for saving the first 40 minutes of the show. Appreciate you.
Absolutely,
40 minutes.
absolutely, anytime.
Enjoy
Thank
the
you,
rest of
brother.
the show, buddy.
You guys got it. I want to go back to being a viewer.
Peace out, dog.
Thank
All
you.
right. Yep.
How do I kick him out of here? Oh, like this. Bam.
Yeah.
Remove. All right.
You're ready.
Yeah, it was Joe 2.0 right there.
Yeah, I got a blackout fucking Friday myself right here. Quick.
Damn, I am not
Yeah.
drinking today. I'll tell you. Fucking
That'll
right
wake
now.
her up.
Yeah.
I got a beer and I got about a half a bottle of rum. Good to go.
Saturdays get harder and harder for me. I can't be doing. I gotta find a new way to fucking get tips in. I don't know. I'll play guitar for tips. Just drinking bullshit for tips.
I was thinking, man, we have too many debaucherous friends.
Yeah.
Like specifically, you're the ones closest. The people that you get along with best are the most debaucherous ones. That's where you get along with the best.
And
your
also,
drinking buddies are not the best fucking
yeah.
podcast
And also, they're
crew.
paying me back because you know what happens if I'm out there with the come on, we're going all night. You're drinking, and now they're just returning the favor, you know.
Yep.
So.
Look, he's you got that buddy who's like really hard to. You can't really tell him no. Like you don't want to drink here at the bar. Take it easy. You want to go out maybe. You want to take it easy tonight. Look, he's one of those dudes who's got that real way of fucking changing that. A, getting you to the bar, and B, getting you hammered once you get there, even though you said you weren't going to have a drink. But just 2 drinks.
It's just a couple. That's famous fucking
that's not true.
Just a couple.
Actually, you don't have that going for you because fucking anyone who's been with you once fucking knows that 2 ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
So I guess it's really the guilt of coming out.
Right.
Once you're out, you know you're fucked. Yo, it's Rocktober, man.
What happened?
Right? It's Rocktober.
It is Rocktober. Yeah.
This would be my first Rocktober
Damn.
episode.
It's fucking. Oh, it's the 5th already. 15 more days until I'm 42, Joe.
Damn, bro.
That's probably what this pain in my side is. It's just.
I was gonna say, sure, that you hip or something, dude.
Yeah. Maybe I'll spend it in the hospital. I don't know.
You should fucking you should get up with Mike Pierce, man. Maybe you guys could get some fucking like old fellas activities going together.
We're gonna be in a home soon.
Yeah. I'll come visit you at a home.
Yeah.
He's good, man. I think he just what was it? He's talking about this Rolling Stones band, man. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I thought it was a magazine, but some old ass shit, you know.
Fucking
Captain Greybush, dude.
Yeah. So let's talk, Joe. We promised people.
Yeah, what are we
Gotham
doing?
Road. Show's already 45 minutes in. I don't want to have another 4-hour show. Dean broke the record of the fucking rambling show. So let's just get to the fucking nitty gritty here.
What are you talking about? End of Gotham Road?
Why did Gotham Road break up?
You're asking me that question.
Yes.
I don't think that we did break up.
No, huh?
I'm serious. Well, we certainly ceased to play.
Right.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I think
yeah. I guess
it's
that's true. We just stopped playing.
yeah. It wasn't well. And correct me if I'm wrong, but we went through the process of like we'd come back from the Morning Light tour. That was 2004.
Right.
So that would be the fall, right? Morning Light? No, it was the summer. Gotham Road only did summers. That's right. We both those tours were summer.
Yeah.
It was like late July, like it was a late summer tour. Come back from the Morning Light tour. Well, I probably for where this will go. I was talking about this the other day. I can start that story at it's going deep right at the beginning. But do you remember a day we were on the road and Paulie freaked out?
Yeah, I'll never forget it. It was in Portland,
Neither
Oregon.
will I. Was it Portland? I don't
Yep.
remember where it was, but
It was
Paulie freaked
after.
out.
It was after we played the fucking show with the Misfats.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was the Sabala Theater. Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
the Mount Tabor Sabala Theater.
All right, here's something else. I probably don't remember. What band was in that town playing that night?
I don't.
Down the
remember
street. What concert was going on down the street from us on that night?
I don't remember.
The Misfits
Really?
on the same street. I went down with I don't know who before it, and we went down to the show and started fucking handing out flyers.
That's right. It was a
Yep.
very poorly attended show.
Very
say the
poorly.
least.
I get it. I mean, I understand. Fucking. I mean, there was no real advertisement put into the Gotham Road name.
Right. And
Yeah.
like,
Most people didn't even know that fucking Michael was out of the Misfits yet. Most
Yeah.
people hadn't even really knew the dude's name. You know, he was still the new dude, or he was still like not Danzig. You know, like
right.
it's still. I mean, as crazy as that sounds, yeah. You know, like that. His name wasn't his household at the moment.
There are these annoying shows like this that they're the ones that get recorded and like put out. Because there's a recording of this show, and it's like
listen to you telling this story.
It grates my fucking ears. I can't stand
Yeah,
it. I hear the
too.
fucking recording. I'm like, all shows that you had to record and
Yes.
put out from front
Yep.
to back was this.
There's another
fucking
one
show.
like that too, the DNA Lounge show as well,
Ugh,
which was also a terrible show from about that week.
yeah.
It's a bad week. I don't know why, but but what he's getting to the point of is if you go back, if you look like bootlegs of us live audio bootlegs, the two most common you would find in the two shows you just brought up, both of them are bad, dude.
Bad.
I think one of them's a board recording too, so it's like very
it's
exposed.
a straight. Yeah, that's the one with the Misfats. It's a straight board recording, super dry.
No audience sounds, no like.
Well, there was
nothing.
no audience there anyway, so.
Sure, but still, you'd have the room like that.
Right. Yeah, there was no room ambiance. Yeah.
Nothing. It was just like a band on stage, very raw and exposed. No compression, no fucking like more raw than actually seeing it live. Actually.
Yeah.
Very. Any
so
band and that type of recording, it's very revealing. It's very every mistake, every imperfection, everything is not only heard, but it is fucking embellished.
Yeah. The show was
best band in the world would suffer.
The show was poorly attended, and we're fucking in Portland, Oregon, so we've already gone across the country. We have across the country to go back, and fucking morale is low. And
I think morale was all right.
Well, after that show, it wasn't. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, the record was scratched.
Yeah.
Do you remember why the record was scratched?
The first thing I can remember is Paulie got mad that we were using KY jelly in our hair and it was going all over his cymbals.
Yeah, I think that was just frustration in general. He's still the only of all the years, man. He's still the only person who's ever said that. We're probably using a lot of KY then too. Probably whomping it, you know, like fucking whip your hair and fucking Paulie gets hit in the face with lube. And he was right. His drums were like, who cares?
Yeah.
His drums had like little spatters of hair spit all over it by like 3 weeks into the tour. Whatever the case, Paulie was right about what he said, and I'm sure we all knew it, but it bothered him a lot more than it bothered us. Um, Paulie's complaint was that we were playing 21 and over shows the whole tour.
Right.
And we had a lot of good shows in good places that were under advertised, like people just didn't know we were like the shows were like just poorly promoted, and they were all at bars. And a big thing that was going on to the first Gotham Road show that we played, away show, first show of the first tour was the first time this happened to us. But there were more kids in the parking lot that got turned away because they couldn't come inside than there were people in the show. And it would be like regulars in the bar that we were playing to, and fucking there would be. That's how we met Emily O'Connell, dude.
Yep.
At the first Gotham Road Chicago show, her and her boyfriend were peering through the window the whole fucking time behind us. We would try to sneak kids in all the time and shit. Yeah. It's like they would show up. Like, dude, that's how we met Emilio.
Yeah, I snuck him into the DNA.
Yep, that is exactly how we met Emilio. Emilio would be outside of our shows at noon, dude. 2 hours before we were there in California heat, sweltering, to fucking with a bag of weed, and he don't even smoke. You know, like, and he was like fucking 15, 16. He would be there by himself with a bag of weed, waiting for us to show up at fucking load-in. Like, because he couldn't get into the show, so he would show up as early as he could to hang out with us before.
Yeah.
So anyway, Paul's wife, well, now wife, Paul's girlfriend flew in. That was her first show there, and I think she didn't have an ID or something.
Oh,
they didn't let her in.
The DNA lounge, yeah.
They didn't let Paul's girlfriend in, for starters. That's probably really what was going on. But listen, the shows weren't that well attended. I remember morale being
right.
All right. Because listen, man, this is our second tour with Gotham Road. First one was, I mean, whatever. The second one was supposed to have improved upon the errors of the last one.
Yeah.
The 21 and over thing was not that. We were not booking it. The band wasn't booking those tours. We had, we were at the mercy of the booking agent that we had, and that's what we had, man.
Yeah.
I don't even think I would have if I booked the tour, I would have been like, oh, well, all these venues need to be all ages. I wouldn't have fucking even known that, like I wouldn't even thought it until I did it anyway. But I guess the attendances must have been poor, or listen, I don't remember being upset at all. Maybe I think morale was fine, actually. Yeah, the shows weren't that attended on the West Coast. There was a bad week. I think after the show, Paulie just wigged out one day. Like he's like, he just, right? He threw a fit. Like, he started screaming at all of us. Like, I mean, like, he was frustrated. He was very emotional when he's like, in those situations, and it was like his first, it was a second tour, but what he kind of did, Paulie called out the purple elephant in the room on the tour, and Paul was absolutely correct about what he was freaking out about. He shouldn't have freaked out. That's like kind of like rule number one. Even if you're pissed, like, unless it's really bad, you probably shouldn't put it out there or bring it up, because it's going to bring the whole team down. Like, you talk about it when the tour is over, you fix it afterwards, unless it needs to be fixed right there. But what were we going to do about the next couple shows being all ages at that point? So in retrospect, I'm sure Paul would know better and know not to do that, but he didn't yet. And basically I had in my mind the whole time leading up to it, like, everything that Paul was saying was true, but like, that was, he was the last, as well as me or you would be the last people that have the right to say that, because if Paulie felt that we were out here wasting our time playing to nobody,
right,
and this was poorly managed or poorly booked, how the fuck did our singer who used to be in the fucking Misfits feel? And he didn't complain once.
Yeah.
Michael was a trooper about it. He, and to me, we were stoked to be out on the road on tour again. So fucking, we, as far as we concerned, we were earning our stripes again. Whatever, let's go. And I think we would have, whatever the case. That happened, and I remember. The reason I was telling this is I remember that I was embarrassed, like, when Paul did that.
Right.
Like, I kept my mouth shut. I didn't say a fucking thing, and I wanted to die and disappear. While that stage, like I don't think I probably said a word in that argument. I wanted to disappear. I was so embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like because like Paul, like I said, everything Paul said was true, but he probably didn't consider his audience, you know. And he pointed out everything was wrong with the situation, and I think not as bad as Paul, but it finally broke Michael. You know, like to where he responded. You know, it was the first time he spoke up and was like,
Right.
"Are you fucking kidding me?" You know, like I mean, it sounds worse when you tell it than it was in real life. I guess it was still pretty brutal in real life, but yeah, man, Paul scratched the record right there. I remember I wrote Michael. We had bunks on that tour, and I remember sitting in my bunk. I was so fucking mortified that I wrote Michael a letter. He was the bunk underneath me, and I fucking wrote a letter. I'm like, dude, just want to say I don't feel that way, and like, I'm really happy to be here. I appreciate this opportunity. You know, like I can only imagine how you feel, and you've conducted yourself fucking super fucking awesome. I just want you to know
Right.
I appreciate this, and I'm happy to be here. You know, and he wrote me. I found the letter the other day. He wrote me a letter back, like seriously, like delivered to the bunk.
Yeah.
On a piece of paper, fucking handwritten, dude. Yeah, I just stumbled upon it the other day. That's what made me think about. That's probably where it did. That would probably be the first fracture. You know.
Right.
So that tour ends. I guess we get back to Jersey. I'm sure we played a couple one-offs or whatever. Okay, check it out. I'll get this right. We came back late summer from that tour, and back home we had a couple weeks off, and then like Halloween, you know.
Right.
So we had like just one-offs, 200 miles all around. Michael had homied up with the Black Ice people.
That's right.
The singer of this band, Black Ice, really cool fucking band. I want to say, I don't know, I want to say the Carolinas.
Yeah.
Carolina.
Yeah. He was in Camp Lejeune. He was a Marine.
Yeah, I believe he was a Marine recruiter.
Yeah.
We became friends with those guys. They're fucking awesome, really nice people. You know, they're a Marine recruiter. Cool, man. I'm a fucking band dude. I'm a bass player.
Right.
You want to drink a beer? Listen to fucking some tunes. I don't know. I don't want to speak for Michael and say that, but we became mixed up with a lot of Marines and a Marine recruiter. And this is just from my perspective. I guess we finished those shows that Halloween era. We came back, and I don't know if we were told. No, he was talking about it. Michael was going to join the Marines. Like I think we even knew about it a little on the tour, and just like, oh, cool, yeah, you can join the Marines. I'm going to go to I'm going to go camping this summer. You know, like it. Right. I guess like it hadn't processed fully, or maybe hoping it didn't happen. You know, like we just didn't think about it too much. I don't think.
I have a different story from that.
So okay. I'll stop. Oh, I know what you're gonna say. Kind of. No. Okay, then I'm sorry. I was thinking of what you were saying. I might be wrong. That's whatever the case. I don't remember how we got to the actual point of this, but ultimately, at the end of that year, at the end of 2004 into 2005, we had an Eaters show, and that became slated as Michael Graves' farewell show. He was going to, the Gotham Road didn't break up,
right?
But Michael Graves was going to retire, and Gotham Road was playing, and to us, it was New Year's, man. You know, like, and it was Michael's going away thing, sure, but I mean, like, it was so celebratory in general. It kind of just, I don't know, it didn't seem so like a final, right? That would be, I would say, where now that isn't the last Gotham Road show, even of that next year to come. We still play a couple once or twice more, I think.
Right.
But that would be what I would say led to the initial end right there of the regular cycle of Gotham Road.
Yeah, that was like, yeah, that started.
I don't count this when we do reunions every fucking like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, even though we did play, you know, even later
the
that
band
year,
stopped regularly working right there.
Exactly.
The farewell show signified the end of the regular full-time band.
Yeah. And then that didn't last long.
I can go on from there, but what would you have called the end? You tell that story up to this point.
Well,
up to the same point I did. Up to
it's pretty much, to me, that to me that
Loki
signifies,
had a Gotham Road end.
to me that
there.
signifies the
Yeah.
end. It's when he said he was joining the Marines, which was a total fucking I felt blindsided because, and maybe it's just my perspective because I was the one doing a lot of the fucking work. I got it because I'm sitting here just a young fucking kid. Trying to fucking bust my balls to make this shit work.
You know what, dude? We might both be wrong because, oh no, this is next. Oh, no. Okay, I'm sorry. I was jumping ahead of myself. I was going to say, I'm confusing my dates. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm talking about how, it would be the next door. Gotham Road was never supposed to go to Europe, correct?
No, that was the Michael.
No, because I was going to say what we left there. Well, hold on. What we left out there was conservative punk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that was all going on. That shit was getting written in the back of the van.
Yeah.
And we didn't fucking, you think me, Loki, and Paul were in the van going to we're like, we couldn't use the internet. We didn't have laptops or phones. So we didn't even if you asked the three of us, we didn't even know what conservative meant. And we didn't even, Michael's like, cool, I wrote this article for this website. And we'd be like, awesome, man, good for you. High five,
right.
And like, see, he would write some of them in the back of the van. Like, I'm sure that the perception is that we fucking, I had no idea what was going on, to be completely honest with you. But it had, I think on the Morning Light tour was when we started to see the consequences of it for the first time.
Yeah.
Because, what happened in Denver right before Portland?
And then we had the Daily Show.
Do you remember Denver? The Daily Show.
Yeah, the Daily Show.
That was a couple days before that Portland gig. Yep. That's a big part of the story I left out there. Which again, to us, we were stoked about, and we were all of us were stoked about the Daily Show, even after we shot it. So was Michael. We weren't even too upset afterwards because the other shoe hadn't fallen yet. Like, none of us were that embarrassed. Like, we knew it was we knew it was the Daily Show. You know, like, Michael knew it was comedy. It's on Comedy fucking Central. You know, like, he'd seen the show, so he hammed it up a bit himself. He was he's acting.
There's like a belief out
there
that there's a belief out there that they see the show
him.
and like that he's being serious and that he got punked, but he knew exactly what he was doing. Like, he played along with the fucking comedy aspect of it. That's not him being serious. Fucking
absolutely.
Like, he knew it was a comedy bit and he fucking hammed it up to play along.
That was the only
time
on that tour that he wore makeup or the pants or like anything like that. Like, that wasn't even going on then.
Yeah.
And so anyway, if you remember how that situation was fucked, is that we got booked. We were booked where we have a Denver date on that tour. On that tour, fucking, we get a call from Comedy Central's production, or Michael does, asking if you want. We noticed you have a Denver date. Do you have time that day? Do you want to shoot? Do you want to be on the show? Or I think they wanted him to come down to Denver, and he's like, I'm going to be in Denver in fucking 2 weeks. Fucking, and we booked it on the fly. Now, little would we know that the Denver show, I think we found it out like 2-3 days out, the venue had closed.
Yeah.
For the Denver show.
And it was just like there was just a note. There was a note on the door like, hey, it's at this other venue now.
We should explain that, because you got to think, this is, yes, the internet is there, but there's not like ability to reach people like that, isn't there? Like, there's not social media. And we weren't accessing it on the road constantly either. So for this is what happened a lot, and even back to Mr. Monster too, man. Before the internet, is you would book a show in fucking January that you were to play in July, and the venue would close down, and the guy who worked there, who got fired, who booked you, just would either not hit you up, forget to hit you up, or purposely not. I don't know.
Yeah.
And you would, we had at least 3 times in Gotham Road showed up to a venue that was closed or demolished.
There was
when we got there.
Times. Yeah.
So the Daily Show's coming. It's fucking the Denver show, and the promoter had to move. He moved the show.
Yeah.
That's a difficult thing to do, especially in that time. Yeah, you
just
should really have someone.
Out, and no one knew.
You have a guy at the door.
Yeah.
So what happens is that the people who were going to come show up to this venue that's locked and closed, and if there isn't a sign on the door, a flyer, or someone there to communicate, hey, it is going on, it's crossed down 2 blocks over, those people go home, and you don't find out about it for months. That I don't know how much that did or didn't go on, but we found out we had a new venue, and we're like, okay, cool. And it was an enormous old theater with seats and everything. It was fucking enormous. It wasn't a venue. It was a.
Yeah, it was
I guess
like
it
an
had sound.
auditorium. Yeah,
it was an auditorium. And so in that case, we were playing a bigger room than we played anyway. You know, like, and it was more underattended even than
then it was
ever,
normally
dude.
right.
Than ever, dude. At least in a fucking bar, fucking, underattended. It was kind of squeezed together.
And here's the Daily Show. Here's the Daily Show filming clips to fucking see Gotham Road live, and they're fucking pointing their cameras to a room that's got like 7 people in it.
Yes,
fucking huge
and the
fucking
angle.
room. Yeah,
dude. Let's talk about the only live footage of it too.
Yeah.
There's one shot, and they're shooting it from like between me and Michael on the stage. Like they're on stage with us, so you could see that no one's there. Fuck yeah, it was fucking terrible, dude. I mean, that was just. I mean,
it's the fucking comedy. Our life's a comedy.
Well, yeah, dude, it wasn't shitty to us then. We were stoked the whole day.
Right.
We were bummed about the thing, but we didn't know that they're filming over our shoulder. We weren't thinking we were playing a show, dude. You know, when we had to play that show that night, we didn't. You know, what could we complain about it? We're not going to play Daily Show. Go home.
Right.
You know, like not enough people here. Daily Show canceled. They were the Daily Show people. I didn't go with them. You guys did. I think. Did you go? Or Doug? Doug wasn't there. I didn't go.
Not on that second tour. No.
They were really good to us. I remember they were funny. They were nice. They were accommodating. They, took good care of. They took good care of us. They were good to us. You know. So I guess like, because what's also going on, dude, we were booked on Warped Tour at one point. Gotham Road?
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to.
Because we didn't do it.
They were trying to get us. Hollow Point Management was full of hot air on a lot of things, and I think that was one of the situations.
Listen, will it have happened? Would it have happened? I don't fucking know. I don't remember where it came from, but from what we understood, we had a Warped Tour ahead of us.
Yeah.
You know, like that was in the pipe. And I wanted to say a European tour as well. But I might be wrong about that.
The European tour was the Michael Graves thing.
Or maybe it was an attempted there. It was planned, and it was just not delivered on.
We were starting to talk to people, and
meanwhile, Horror High Records starts courting us.
There was death threats, fucking, because Michael was a conservative punk. So Europe was a no-go zone.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He was going to put together a coffee table book of death threats. He had hundreds of death threats, like hundreds of.
A lot of death.
He got more mail than ever in his life.
Right.
At that point, people were sending, because it's pre-social media, literally death threats, dude, handwritten death threats, like just fuck you, fuck them, fuck Michael Graves, fuck you. It's like now, but in the mail.
That's a more brutal death, like a handwritten death threat, like. That's more brutal than getting a fucking DM online or whatever. Like, that is official, dude. Your fucking handwriting. That's a fucking legal document that you fucking send over with a death threat. That is just beyond brutal.
All poorly grammared, all fucking scribbled, probably by a 15-year-old boy. No.
Those were the days.
Yeah. But yeah, we didn't really understand. I mean, I guess the Daily Show comes on the air, and like, we were just stoked to be on the Daily Show.
I was not stoked. I'm telling you right now, and this is
you're lucky you're not on.
I was not stoked.
In which way? Did you know what was going? Like, did you know what to expect?
Yeah,
what was going
I
on?
knew what was going on. Yeah.
I didn't understand it.
Yeah, I was not stoked, the least.
I was just like, oh yeah, the Daily Show, Comedy Central. I watch
but
Comedy
it's just
Central.
It's
kind of on TV.
I knew everything that was happening, and it's kind of the story of like everything. Like it's you bend to the will of one person, and fuck the rest. Like, the rest of the guys don't matter, right? And that's I didn't like it then. I like it less now, which is why I'm in the situation I'm in, because there's no consideration for fucking what this means to anyone else.
Well, I'll tell you this
that's a major problem with a lot of things that have happened forever. and not in just in these types of situations. I've had other situations of tours being canceled, of this happening, of this situations where we should have finished certain things. Just an it's a personality trait that just has happened over and over and over again, and there's no consideration to anyone but him, like what he feels that he should do, and it doesn't matter what you feel about it, Joe. We all have to bend to that will, and I never thought that was fair. I hated it from day one.
I was the young one. I was so happy to be there. You know, like I was like,
Yeah.
you know, I was so stoked. I was fucking 19 years old, playing bars.
Tony goes, to do a handwritten death threat, you gotta get a stamp and mail it. You have to be really pissed off to do that.
Yeah, and it's written fucking angry too. Like the fucking pen or pencil is jammed, and I don't know.
Yeah, you had to buy a stamp to do that. That's 35 cents to be pissed off.
I always hope that Michael put that book out, man. Like with all the hate mail, that'd be fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a hell of a way to make lemons into lemonade. At this point, I'm sure you can make a fucking excellent one. Yeah. You can make an encyclopedia probably at this moment, a coffee table book. But I mean, I always liked that idea, man. You know, that's a cool way to put out a book. You know, like a book of hate mail. I always love that. But I don't remember.
I guess because hold on, let me cut you off here. Because I had Jeff on and you were both on. I guess this meeting is gonna end, so I have to do like a brand new call. So, which means I gotta email you a new link for a new call.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna hang up on you and fucking start a new call over. Intermission, guys.
Tea break.
Yeah. This is what happens when you don't pay the fucking pro version of fucking of Zoom. You know, when you have multiple people on, it like caps you on like I forget what the amount of time, but we've gone over the cap. It's all right. We'll just fucking start a new one. Yeah, those times, you know, I was too young to fucking say anything or throw any weight around. You know what I mean? Like. When things like that are happening, what am I gonna say to the lead singer of the fucking Misfits? You know, I'm just some fucking punk kid doing stuff like. Let's see what's going on here. All right. Invite Joe. And that fucking Daily Show stuff did fucking mortify me. Shit was awful. I was not happy about that ever. Alright, let's see if I can get Joe back on here. Check your Gmail for the link, Joe. So yeah, tip Loki more, guys. Yeah, so we could get Zoom monthly payments. So we got to get more tips up in here. Just trying to make dreams come true. Yeah, man. That's exactly what we were doing. We were fucking mad young, fucking just trying to make it happen. Joe, stop texting me and go to your email and fucking come back with me. Hold on. Maybe he has. Bam. Yep. All right. Cool. Joe's back. We should not have a time limit anymore. Since he's our only fucking caller. What are you doing, Joe? I hear something.
Oh, good to see you, my friend. Nothing, man. We're back.
Yeah, that's something that does need to happen. I need to get the Zoom subscription. This way we can have a fucking party on this fucking live stream. We could have multiple people. Get
So
Rio
let me
on
guess.
here.
Let me guess what it is.
Yeah.
Is to have a third person, you got a time limit?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
Like, because you had a 3-person session going? Yeah, I got you. Did everyone have to reconnect, I guess? Or
TC, I have a green screen. No, everyone's still here. I kept the live stream going. Fucking
you guys talk shit about me while I was gone?
No. I was continuing to display my displeasure of the situation from back then. Because because fucking you're a young dude like that, like other people were saying, like I'm just trying to fucking make my dreams happen. What the fuck am I gonna say to the dude in the Misfits that, what I feel like he shouldn't be doing this? I can't fucking say shit. I just gotta go for the fucking. I gotta roll with the punches here.
Well, to be fair, man, I don't blame Paulie, or I'm not mad at him for that shit.
Oh,
in
it's not
retrospect.
Paulie. It's nothing. Yeah, nothing for Paulie.
I mean, listen, it was a damn bad move on the road.
Right.
Like that, anybody else who did it, including Paul, would it's still poor form. That move would be poo-pooed upon, and I know that Paulie nowadays would never have done that.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with him. It's just one of the decisions of Michael.
No, well, hold on. Is Paulie was greener than all of us in many ways, in almost completely. In every way.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like at least me and you had been out on the road. You had been out with Graves. I had gone out with Mr. Monster and Blitz Kid. Like, we had some experience like that. Paulie was new to being in a fucking band, let alone fucking going on the road.
Yeah.
And I think Paulie's even a little older than me. And just, I mean, our crew, Paulie just comes from a different world than we do. Like Paulie doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't fucking, that's Paulie. That's cool, But when you're young like that, dude, the reality is that I was like 19 years old, dude, 20 years old. I wasn't even supposed to be in those bars.
Right.
Like myself. So to me, it's like, I'm stoked to be there because I'm drinking beer in bars and fucking, on the road. To Paulie, it's, like Paulie never had it bad yet. That was like literally his second tour, dude.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know how that is, man. Expectation versus reality is crazy for going on the road for anybody's first couple tours, no matter what age you are, like even coming into Mr. Monster, man, like when Paulie played drums for Mr. Monster, he had never played for a band as big as us at that point, so I guess me and you knew a little better, and I don't think Paulie didn't appreciate it, but I mean, that was a step up for us, though, like being there, dude. Jason was moving to fucking California. Mr. Monster hadn't done anything all of 2003. Fucking, we didn't even have a drummer. Couldn't find one. I don't even know we're trying to get one. Jason was telling everyone that we were going to fucking, but me and George were moving to California with him.
Yeah.
Like, so I was happy to be there, dude. Fucking, as soon as Mr. Monster was dissolving, that was fucking, there it was. Yeah. It was like literally 2 steps up the ladder from where I was. It was excellent for me, man. I was stoked as fuck.
I was
about to go on my first fucking coast to coast tours that were not going to be booked by us, that were not going to be in a car, a sedan.
We had Job.
So Job, yeah, that was that second tour. And that yeah, we had this dude. He was our driver on that tour. We rented an RV for that tour, so it was supposed to be more comfortable, more accommodating. We hired him, so worked for us, not the people setting up the tour. And it wasn't awesome. And you'll find out that touring in an RV is not awesome, actually.
Right.
You would think that touring in an RV is awesome. Some people might still fucking, disagree with me, but it ain't all it's cut out to be unless you own it, unless you have the right driver, unless it's perfectly serviced, unless those things are fucking awful to touring actually. So I mean, just in that, like we had been, like we were, that whole tour was supposed to be a step up from the last tour, like in a major way, and it was a lot of the same. And again, it took us a couple years to get our booking game back together. We were trusting people we hadn't worked with each time. The next, even going into the next tour, like coming out of Gotham Road, we were still fucking around with new agents and shit.
Yeah,
until
I don't remember.
We got our shit back on track, and we were being properly promoted and booked. It wasn't until we had Roz again that shit fucking fell back in place. But I believe where we left off though before is that I was asking you, like, would you? I mean, what is the end of Gotham Road up until that point? Up until the farewell show?
Yeah, that would be it.
New Year's
Eve. It would
Eve.
be that, the Marines thing,
right.
fucking that's it.
And here's probably where it starts. Let's say we can't, in the time between coming home from the morning light tour, and let me tell you something about being on the road is when you're out on the road with the same dudes for like 3 months or whatever, when you get home, you don't call each other and hang out every day. Like, and the longer you've done it and the longer you spent together, the last motherfucker that you're gonna call to hang out in between like that, and you got another 3 month tour with those dudes, you are not calling those dudes. Right. So after tour, we gotta go talk to each other for a couple weeks. Not because you don't like each other, not because we're mad. Maybe sometimes that is the case.
Yeah.
But usually it's I've never heard anyone talk about it. We just we hang out with the same people all day for 3 months in a very close quarters, and we know that we're going to do it again in a couple months. So it's normal for us not to talk in between tours like that. It's not exactly so rare that we didn't speak.
Yeah.
But the Marines thing was in the air. Maybe we knew it was happening, or we did before the reunion show. What had gone on in the background, and we must have found this out. We did find this out in this period of time. We hadn't heard from Michael or Paulie. Me and you weren't even fucking, hanging reg. But we had got murmurings, or it had come out that Michael fucking recorded a new record.
Right.
Post the, like leading up to it. We knew he was going to the Marines. We knew fucking that show was booked. We knew it was ahead of us. And we heard that Paulie and Michael were in the studio. And we didn't know what they were doing yet.
Right.
But we had just heard that they had been in the studio. And, we kept, both me and you kept their mouth shut. I don't think either of us freaked out or even said anything to anybody, actually. But we were like, what do you mean they're in the studio? And they didn't tell us, and it was never, I believe it was ever spoke about. I never spoke to anyone about it. But that was the first time Michael Gray's record was being recorded in, in a secluded place away from nobody when no one knew what was going on.
Right.
Fucking. And it would turn out in that time, they had not only recorded a record, but they recorded 2 records. Before those records were done being recorded before me and you had even known they were being recorded.
Yeah.
Is our understanding of that. We were both left in the dark. I don't know why I didn't. I mean, I know why now. I get it now, but the order to Paulie and the mission must have been that, don't tell Joe and Loki. Joe and Loki can't find out. And what that was is Michael, I guess, was approached by John Nelson, Horror High Records, who was also courting Gotham Road at the time. He was putting together this record label, Horror High Records, and he wanted to have his record labels released be Michael Graves' first solo record, or I'm sorry, whatever Michael was doing. At first, it was Gotham Road, and we were already someone else was taking care of us.
Yeah.
But we were being courted. He would make us postcards, bring him the shows. He was flirting with us real hard, and he was doing way more than our production company was at the time. So I guess this guy contacts Michael after that tour, asks him to do a solo record, and Michael's like, "I'm fucking about to go to the Marines, dude. I'm fucking done. I'm retiring from music." And the guy's like, "All right, I want to put out your farewell record then to start my record label." And Michael I believe he wrote the song about 7 days, dude. I'm totally serious.
Yeah.
I think he wrote the song like in a week's time, and then got into the studio in like 2 weeks' time. That's also how it flew over our heads. It was a short period of time. It was very spontaneous. They did it local and in town at a place we never would have went otherwise.
Was that Buddy Mike's house?
Yeah, that is totally a Paulie. That is a Paulie and Michael production, dude.
Right.
In the way that Buddy Mike's house, like literally, Michael's from Dumont, Paulie's from Dumont, and Paul has a buddy who has a basement studio in Bergenfield.
Right.
It's like the most organic New Jersey shit, period. But like Buddy Mike knew what he was doing. He was a talented kid and everything, and sure as shit's really awesome now, but he wasn't fucking ready to record a Michael Graves record. And to be honest, like he wasn't ready to produce that type of record. So that had gone on, and I don't think do you remember ever speaking to those guys about it? Was there ever a conversation that you had?
We weren't a part of it.
Of like, hey, what's going on with that?
I wasn't a part of it, and whatever. Like, I guess they had offered him, John Nelson offered him some money to fucking come back and do something more of the Grave style and not metal like Gotham Road. And fucking, I just figured.
And he offered
we weren't going to be a part of that new version or whatever.
Well, no, that wasn't even it. I don't think that was it. I think that it was.
That was it for me.
I think that it was a financial decision.
I was never confronted to come back and do anything like that. So I thought that was just like he was gonna go off a separate brand from Gotham Road, and that was that.
That's not Michael's. That's not at Michael's hand though. That's not Michael's choosing or at Michael's hand, because at that point the agreement in the business was different, because there was never to be a band. Right. He was retiring. That was his farewell record. There wasn't to be a tour for Punk Rock Is Dead. What year does that record come out? 2005.
2005.
Or is it? Yeah. It's got to be 5. What I was asking is that had we heard that record at the farewell show?
I don't remember.
Had me and you at least known that shit yet?
I don't remember.
So I don't know. Probably going into the next year now, because it was New Year's. Literally going to next year. I don't know when fucking boot camp starts. I don't know but it was the holidays. You all went away for a little while. Michael had to get shit together in his life. Like it was like Michael after that show. So we weren't doing anything. I remember like coming home from or like walking away from all that, being like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Like I just moved out of I moved out of my family house. I moved into my friend's basement.
You were
I lived in Brian's house.
Oh,
I was living in Brian's house at this point. Still. That's just about to change. So and the Morning Light tour ends. How does that end? You have a different perspective of this. You left the Morning Light tour a couple days early in 2004.
That was the first tour.
No, it was that dude. That was Ozfest 2004. So
yeah,
it had to be. So Tito, our tour manager, beloved tour manager, he was the tour manager in Graves, and he came on to us with us through the first Gotham Road show tour. What am I saying?
That was not Tito, the Morning Light tour. That was the first tour.
Definitely. No, you're wrong. Well, yes, the first tour is when Tito was with us.
Yeah.
Going into the second tour, I'm saying, oh, man, I forgot why I'm fucking getting to Tito.
That Ozfest thing was between the first and second tour.
Oh, is it a Graves tour then? Is it the Punk Rock Is Dead tour then?
The Punk.
What? No. Listen, just confirm it by what Ozfest it is, and I'll know what's going on. What year did you go on Ozfest?
2004. Then
it was absolutely after the Morning Light tour. Yes.
You're wrong.
Yeah, I'm right, because Gotham Boulevard. It wouldn't have been Michael fucking Toombs. Why do we call it Gotham Boulevard? I'm right. That was 2004.
But it's okay. It doesn't matter. But you're wrong.
That's possible.
Because we did the tour with Tito.
Yeah.
Came home. He hopped on directly with Darkest Hour, and that's when he figured out, yo, man.
That was the same year. Like that was really.
And then we did the Morning Light tour after that, and that was that.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll go with that then. Then.
And then 2005. Remember, we were doing one-off shows. We did like what was that place in Long Island? We were fucking
I know what you're talking about.
yeah,
Cool
yeah.
place.
We played with Murphy's
Downtown.
Law, so there was a bunch of
Downtown.
stuff like that going on. And
Yeah, there
then
were a
we
lot
had
of
the New
good.
Year's thing, and then yeah. But it doesn't matter. I mean,
Yeah, so whatever.
He leaves for
Gotham
the
Road.
Marines. He comes back.
We're not even in a band anymore.
Right.
Like a band at all. You know, like I mean, those 2 years were very exciting. They moved very fast. They fucking decided to put. I was in a fucking spot. Like, I mean, I wasn't offended by it or imposed upon it, but I was like, man, I don't know how. This is the first time in my life I haven't had a band. You know, like ever.
Right.
I have nothing, and I don't know what I'm doing next. You know, like I just did my first 2 coast to coast tours, and got nothing. I don't even have a band that I'm gonna think about starting at this. You know, I'm just like, but I'll tell you where the story flips for me is by the time Matt had set in, I suppose I'm like, wow, man, what am I gonna do? You know, like I live in someone's basement at their mom's house, and fucking that was only okay because I was gone half the year and would be gone going forward a lot. But if I was just living there and I wasn't on tour and I wasn't doing things, like I need to get a job, I would start paying rent over there or get out, do something like, and I have a band, I know what I was doing in my life. So I guess as that's probably setting in, like I said, not anger, just man.
Right.
I got a call from Michael one day, and I remember this so clear. It was in Brian Kellner's driveway. I got a fucking phone call. Pick it up, Michael. What? Not expecting that. Very early in the morning. And he was like, it was like really brief and really short. It was Joe. I need you to do me a favor. I can't talk long. Some shit happened. I'm gonna be coming home in about 2 weeks, 10 days. I need you to meet up with Renee and bring her something. And I was like, yes, sir. And I remember standing in the street. I was standing in the street, like walking back and forth on the phone. And I hung up with him. And I remember jumping in the air with my fist up, like, like it's terrible because I'm, that's
rejoicing another man's failure.
Michael didn't. Yes, Michael didn't. It's not. I don't know. I never asked, and I don't know the answer to that question at all. I don't know why he left her, how he left her, and it's not my business. But the point of the matter is that he was out, and to me, I was like, it was like the Rocky song started playing right there. Like, because Punk Rock is Dead had just come out. They dropped the record. It was fucking, it was good and fucking, it was well received. And we were like, this sucks, man. We should be on the road playing this shit. Like, fuck. And then I got that call. And I mean, that didn't necessarily mean anything, but dude, man, I was going to be home and that record just came out. Come on, bro. Like we're at least going to do a little stuff. Like it's probable we're going to do stuff. So I was stoked. I guess I should keep going from this point because you're not going to know the in between.
Nah.
If that was the Punk Rock is Dead tour ends up in the summer, correct? Yeah, spring. Okay, so yeah, we come home. He leaves. He comes back. Try 2-3 months has passed. Maybe it's May, looking that or something. About May, I get a call from Michael, asking me to sit in on a conference call with him. I was like, okay, cool, man. Of course. He's like, we're gonna talk to this guy. I guess maybe it was said that me and Michael were talking to this dude. Turned out to be John Nelson, Hard Eye Records. And I didn't know that the rest of y'all weren't gonna be there, or I didn't know what it was about even. And like the conversation that had gone on, like it was like these two had obviously spoke about a bunch of things, and there was some shit going on that I didn't know about. And this was my first hearing of it all. I remember being completely unaware of what was going on. But they were saying, we're gonna do this tour, we're booking this tour. Are you in? I'm like, yeah, sure, fucking of course, let's go do stuff. All right, cool. I thought we were like meeting each other, for the next thing. And where the conversation went ultimately was like that this dude and I know that him and Michael hadn't spoken about this. It's definitely news, but he was talking about like bringing guitar players in and drummers, and he was going to play guitar and drums for us. And I was just like, but I'm listening because I don't know what the fuck's going on. And thank God I did. Or no. So Michael was definitely hearing this, I believe, for the first time as well on this conversation. Had to have, because it was like everything the guy said was all cool and well, except for the guitar player thing and the drummer thing, and how like we're like, he's gonna find us dudes, you know, like no way, you know, like. So we get off with John Nelson, and me and Michael talking. We had agreed that like, or no, maybe he said something on that conversation. One of us must have said like, well, dude, we don't need a guitar player. We got Loki, you know, just Loki's awesome. He's like part of the team. He's part of the band. All right, let's just use Loki. And the guy's like, he's like, yeah, you know, like I know that he's really good, and he's like the thing and everything. He just doesn't fit the image I'm looking for. And I'm like, and we're like, yeah, why? And we're listening and just trying to be respectful to a new situation that's already planned to be happening.
Right.
And we debated with him, and he's like, oh, he just looks too metal. He doesn't fit the image of what I want. And we're thinking, I don't know. I'm thinking, like, who cares what this guy wants? It's fucking, this is what we're doing. And I remember him saying that we want the band to look like the front line of the band should look like the album cover. Like he basically wanted like Casualties punk dudes or something. Like he wanted one of us to have a mohawk or something like that, or you know, like it does make sense from a marketing standpoint, or from a, you know, I don't know if whatever. I get it, but wrong deeds, wrong band. Try again next time. And me and Michael had gotten off that conversation and said the same thing, like, fuck this guy, fuck Virgin Loki, you know, like, and Michael was like, listen, be respectful of it. Let's go through this situation and fucking we'll try his way. And at the end of this, he's like, Loki's coming with us. He's like, whatever goes on here, by the day we leave on that tour, we're bringing Loki. And I don't know how privy you were to that conversation or anything like that, because it was shitty to say, it was rude, and we were trying to fix it.
Yeah, I was privy enough because we were having auditions.
Well, that didn't happen yet. By the time
we were rehearsing as a band, but then taking a break from rehearsing to audition these other guitar players.
Well, whatever the case, I guess around that point, dude, I was obviously directed to go forward with you, or I did it on my own. I don't know. Right, but we needed a drummer. They didn't have a drummer. We needed a drummer, and I fucking called Matt Johnson, and he said yes. You know, the first time Matt Johnson is like the best drummer in our area since we were kids, and I've always tried to be in a band with him or get him. No one could get Matt Johnson in their band.
Yeah.
For years, he was like a goddamn legend to me. And the only reason, you know, someone asked me if I knew a drummer, and the only reason I called him was because he was literally the best drummer I fucking knew. And I was like, if this is for Graves' band, he'll probably say yes. You know, like maybe we won't play in my band, but he'll say yes to this. He'll say yes to going on a coast to coast tour, and he did.
Right.
And so we're at this point jamming during the daytime at Connections on stage.
Yeah, they will open doors for us and let us rehearse.
Quincy would let us in and do sound for us, actually.
Yeah.
Or he was in and out of it for sure. So we started. We didn't even know had any connection to Michael yet at that point. Had no idea yet. We're rehearsing and just me, you, and Matt Johnson. All that material, like prepping it, you know, as usual, bro. You know, like we're rehearsing for a week or two, and that band was fucking good, man. Me, you, and Matt Johnson, the first time we played together, just, you know, like we were very apprehensive and very nervous about not having Paulie. Like drummers like Paulie are really hard to find, dude. And just having a new drummer right before you leave on a tour is you know, who knows who we were going to get. So I mean that we were able to, from a band perspective or a musical perspective, that the band still was awesome, and a lot of enthusiasm. Me, you, and Matt Johnson were ready. We were fucking stoked to do that, man. We were good. We knew we sounded good right away, just like what happened with Gotham Road. Same thing. Very confident from the beginning, because the first time we came together, we were good. And yes, I believe probably in the background, a conference call or two happened as well. You know, was still going on through this. And I, if Michael said something to you, or if you found out, I know I never spoke to you about it because it was unnecessary and it was awkward.
Right.
You know,
Well, I
like,
mean, yeah.
and Michael told me we're gonna work it out, and I believe that. You know, I had no reason that I didn't believe Michael, and I was right too. But we go through the situation, man. We'd be rehearsing, and all of a sudden, in the middle of our rehearsal, some dude in like Doyle makeup would walk in with a coffin case, all like ready to rock, and we're like in like chilling clothes, you know, because we're not playing for we're playing in a club, but we're playing to an empty room rehearsing, and we'd have to stop what we were doing, and people, well, it was awful to us, and it was fucking, I don't know, comical to you.
Gotta be
I
super
don't know what
awkward
it
for
was,
the
but we
kid
had
though,
to
because
respect these people.
just imagine
Yes,
walking
yeah,
into a
totally was.
situation, right? And
Yeah, you weren't nervous.
you're about to audition for this fucking guy that you look up to, but his band is already up there, and we were
Yeah, the dude.
slaying it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it was the dude. Like whoever was the guitar player was trying out for a band. Definitely knew enough to know, had seen Gotham Road, knew who Loki was. So when they walked into that room, they're like, they must have been like, "What is Loki doing here? Isn't that the dude that they're what?"
Yeah.
You know, like, and I mean, the reality of the situation is like it wasn't that hard to do because we had to respect the people who learned all the songs, came in, and
Yep.
as much as we didn't want to do it, and I didn't consider that that's what Michael had pretty much signed us up for when he said that we were going to go through this.
Yeah.
Like, what were we going to jam twice as much, and sometimes Loki wouldn't come? You know, like we were going to wait around till the guitar player shows up, plays Digger for Bones 2 times, walks out. Like, so it was like almost like a meet and greet sometimes, fucking with kids coming in playing guitar and shit.
Yeah.
None of them. I mean,
you would think that
the
since he had a specific
same
look
thing was
that
wrong with every one of them.
Since there was a specific look they were going for, you would think that would be a vetting process before these
Right?
kids showed up, because none of these kids fit the bill of what they wanted to anyway.
Nah, not at all. If me and you if me and you met Michael looking like those kids, fucking, there's no way we would have been there either.
Right.
Why would you know? Like, I don't know. I was gonna make an analogy. I'm like, would you show up to try out for Kiss dressed like Kiss? I'm like, you know, that's not a bad idea actually. But yeah, I don't know. There's probably a better band than Kiss to make that analogy.
Super awkward. Not for me. It was like, all right, I'll get off the stage
awkward
here.
For them. Yeah, I remember you didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, like, go ahead, bud. You know, like,
we all took it well. Michael had told me and you that that's what was going on. Regardless, if fucking John Petrucci walked in and fucking tried out for the fuck, if Doyle would have walked in and tried out for the band right there, Loki was coming on tour. You know, like, and we were right to trust that, and that's what we did.
Right.
So I guess Loki gets brought into the business. Loki's probably briefed of the tour late. You know, like at least me and Michael had known for a month or two.
Yeah.
And Loki's briefed of it late. Loki's usually our tour manager. He's very involved in the business and ongoings and outgoings on the road, communicating with fucking the booking agent and the club every day, doing, you know, like, that's always been Loki, you know, even then. So Loki comes into a situation that's already half put together, and that sucks, you know, like, because Loki's the dude who's got to go out and live it, you know.
Right.
The tour wasn't poorly. Yes, it was. All right. So the tour we were about to go on, that we were getting ready for, we were doing like a Punk Rock is Dead release show or something, I think.
That's right. That
was the first show. Yeah.
Right? We did like a recording. Michael.
Yeah. There's
Rusin.
Yeah. Yes, Rusin.
Yeah.
Cinema Sky Productions. Yeah, it's
right.
Professionally recorded somewhere. There's pieces of it on YouTube. So we do that thing. We play. So I guess it got to the wire where we had to fucking do something, and I guess it was that show. And I wasn't privy to the conversation, but Michael must have been like, "All right, listen, dude, they all sucked. Everyone you sent in sucked. We're really close to the wire here. We've been working with Loki just in case. Fuck you, Loki's coming." And there wasn't much fucking. What was the guy gonna say? Okay, we're canceled. You know, like,
that was that. Yeah,
that's what we did. you probably weren't privy to that, but you had enough sense to know that something was up.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it was, and this is where, so anyway, so Loki comes into the situation and he's got a lot of questions because so much is established. You know, what are we traveling in? Who booked the tour? Let's see the dates. And we were
a lot of those questions were not answered yet, by the way.
Yeah. You know, it's also possible, Loki, that we did it. We did the Punk Rock is Dead release show, and then after that show, that the tour conversation came up,
Right.
and all of what I'm talking about, and you were left in the dark between that situation. It's possible.
Maybe,
Like, because at the point that you were briefed of what was going on the road, right, maybe I wasn't told about things, or I was told not to say something to you, or but because I know these conversations took place as of the tour. We were matched up with which band for the Punk Rock is Dead tour? Trash Live Vision, featuring AC Slade, now of the Misfits. Awesome fucking band, awesome dudes, good times. Look, because of the fall, I believe one of the first questions we asked is what is, you know, like who's booking the tour, who's routing it? Because after what we've just been through, we want to see that shit, make sure before we leave that this shit doesn't get, you know, we want to look it over real close. And we're like, oh, it's all good. I got a great booking agent, Trash Light Vision, and at that point, Trash Light, AC Slade is coming off of Amen, and just recently the Murder Dolls. Then,
right.
And he was starting a new band. You know, it's very similar to where we were in Gotham Road. You know, it wasn't Trash Light Vision featuring AC Slade, but whatever point, dude had fucking some stature, dude. He was on fucking he was in 3 Roadrunner Records bands at recently. So we were told that his booking agent was handling it for us, like that they were booking the tour. We're like, sweet, right. You know, why would we not trust that? You know, that's to be trusted. All this did. And then I guess you would ask the question of, you just take it over after this. What are we traveling in?
Yeah, it was more. It was just basic. It was the basic fundamentals of tour.
Yeah, that's a part of the problem to come.
Yeah, it was just like the basic fundamentals of like.
I'm getting to
business.
the point of you being rubbed.
Yeah.
You were being rubbed the whole time, is what I'm saying. Like, there was stupid shit going on. You knew it. You were being respectful, and you know everyone was trying to respect him. Everyone was trying to respect Michael. You know, like, be professional. You know, so went along and gave it the benefit of the doubt. But I guess it comes to the wire, and he was supposed to take care of a van, and I guess there had been like some type of fucking blunder that, like, as of the week of the show, you're still like, yo, what are we taking out? And I guess RI Records supposed to take care of it. Am I correct? And we were down to the wire with no van.
It was the day before. It was the day before the tour. I drove to Brooklyn, New York, to pick up a fucking the cheapest
day
van.
Before.
Yeah, the cheapest van I could find. I drove
the
to Brooklyn.
Day before the tour. We got that.
Yes, because I couldn't find vans.
None of us could rent a van.
Yeah.
I wasn't old enough. Loki didn't have a license, maybe, or you couldn't rent a van either. Or we all had bad credit too.
Right.
You needed like X credit. I don't think we had credit cards. Any of us. I don't think we had credit.
At that point, I was driving.
We couldn't rent the van though. Otherwise, you would have.
Yeah. Also, there was a fucking shortage. I was having a really hard time finding them, so Brooklyn was like the only place that I could fucking go to fucking get one.
So this is the first phase of like, dude, this guy is. You hope this dude knows what he's doing, man, because this doesn't make sense. Before we're leaving on the tour, and you know, all the while, everyone knows better than Loki. Everyone knows better than Loki. You know, Loki's respecting it, and High wasn't going to pay for the van. I don't know how that was a blunder. I don't know how no one realized that we needed a van or a vehicle. But when you weren't getting answers, or when you got an answer about that, you found a van, and no less, you put it on your girlfriend fucking put it on her fucking card. You conned your girlfriend into putting a van on her credit for us. The only stipulation.
Dosh financed that whole. She put the capital up for that whole thing.
The whole fucking tour, dude. pretty
'Cause
much
they
Loki's
didn't.
girlfriend.
Yeah,
We're on a record label. There's a fucking
right.
an agent.
And
Fucking all this is handled.
the van company didn't necessarily trust the situation, and so Dosh paid for like 3 weeks up front. Like she paid the whole amount right up front.
Yep. We go out. Guess what our overhead in that situation was is that we had to make the payments, I guess, every month.
Right.
So we went on that tour. It was not going well, to be honest with you. We had a lot of great shows.
I remember
right
there
at the
just
beginning,
being
and because
random
the record came out,
cancellations
and
too. Fucking there was just shows being dropped.
yes,
left
and there's
right.
lots of cancellations. Yep. There's also you got to keep in mind things up a little bit at this point because the band's being marketed as Michael Graves now.
Yeah.
The name of the band is Michael Graves. More people know who Michael Graves is than know what Gotham Road is.
Yeah.
There wasn't a whole lot of campaigning, advertising, interviews, PR on what the fuck Gotham Road is. You had to really be a deep fucking Misfits fan to follow Michael Graves out of the Misfits and follow him, two bands down the line. To know what that was. I mean, that name change was bold. Yeah. But it could have, I don't know. That's in the story, how that could have been handled a lot of ways. So yeah, things like should have been a lot better at this point. And they were still kind of the same, and it was on a booking end for sure. Again, we were starting up the shows that were not promoted, underpromoted, terribly promoted, canceled. We did great in our market still. We still had places that, regardless of when we played, we always did good. Same as to this day, man. Even in Gotham Road, like those block shows were always excellent, but in betweens were dismal. And I guess we're doing a coast to coast tour. We had a whole thing fucking booked. We had made it as far as probably the Carolinas. How long would you say punk rock is that went?
I would say that was 2.5 to 3 weeks, maybe. Yeah, maybe 4 weeks. Yeah.
We never got off the East Coast.
Right.
I think we went up north first and came down, so we're probably about 3 weeks. We were dead in the water. We were, when people don't show up to the fucking show, even if you get paid to play the show, you don't sell any merch. You need to do that. And not only did we have to have the money to sustain ourselves on the road, we were in a van. We weren't in a situation to sleep in the van so much the way it was set up. We had too many people. So our overhead was fucking tight, bro. I remember pulling up to wherever this venue was, a show. We were in town early, and it was the first payment that we had to make on the van. Yeah. And we had to make that payment. If any payment we couldn't be late on, it was that one. And all signs pointed to that we were going to be broke. We had to work really fucking hard and save a lot of money to make that payment.
Yep.
I remember being in the parking lot of the bank, just chilling, sitting, probably with the engine running, being like, all right. And Michael's like, you guys are counting the money. And Michael's like, hope you guys ate. I hope you got cigarettes, because as soon as I put this money in this shoot, we have $50,
right?
To our band's name. So we better do fucking good tonight. And I'm pretty sure the show it wasn't the venue was closed, but some fuckery, and there was It was the worst one yet at that point. Not only was it not a good night, but it was the worst one. Sold no merch, probably didn't get paid. Or probably got we never not got paid, I don't think, but we probably got less than the guarantee and story. And at that point, it was we couldn't go forward. Maybe we did go forward another show or so. I don't know. But I remember it had been at the point where Florida was coming up. We were Trash Light Vision. There was a week of shows off almost that had not been filled in. And you were like, there's no way that if these next two shows, Georgia and whatever, maybe Georgia canceled, or I don't know. And we had 3-4 days off in Florida, and then Florida, and the tour continued. And look, he was like, it's not going to happen. You were like, or Michael, or I don't know, you guys agreed that there's no way that the stores, we weren't going to make it. So I believe we dropped the tour. Right. At what's it called? We dropped the tour in that night and the next night.
Right.
100%.
Yeah, it was just the
we had to go
finances.
Home.
Like
we had to go home.
Yeah.
We couldn't afford it. There was no way. We couldn't trust as we got farther out west that we were going to be able to afford it, to pay for it, that it would be worth it. I mean, worth it wasn't the case, but
shows were just dropping. That's the problem. There was a gap, but shows also dropped, and we're like, yo, I mean, look at this.
So no fault of Trash Life Vision. They were in the same situation we were. The real difference was that they had friends that they were staying with. They had like an awesome house and a party spot, so they were good. They were staying someplace. We had to get hotels, so it was just, what, were we going to take 2 days off to go to Florida, take 3 days off, and then resume? And we weren't going to go back to Jersey for 5 days and drive all the way to Florida either. Couldn't do it, man. None of us had the money, and the label wasn't going to pay for it. That was it. I believe the Trash Life Vision only did a little bit more before they did. They had to drop as well. So then we go home from that. I believe we're into the summertime. We have a gig one night at Connections that Gotham Road was booked for. I don't know if this is the first or the only that happened after this, but there was a Gotham Road show. And turned out a bump later, Michael Graves was booked on that date. And we were like, well, I can't do that. We're doing the Gotham Road show that night. And we did a show. We did a Legion Hall all ages show in Jersey, which when we played those shows, are fucking awesome.
It was a Reckless 13 show.
Fucking awesome. Yep, they were always awesome shows for us. And we had done a bunch, and they kept getting bigger. So it was set to be awesome. We weren't going to say no. We asked to do it. We did it. I don't know. But that show was like at 7 o'clock, and we were to play at like 9. And we got booked to Connections as Michael Graves to play at like midnight or 12, 11, 12. So you think you or me were
time, yeah.
You think Joe Logan gonna say no? Absolutely not. We played 2 shows that night, and I don't know what happened in the middle. I just remember that day that none of us really spoke to one another.
I know exactly.
And you and Michael got I was happy to be there. I was stoked, and I wanted everyone to get along. I didn't care, I just like, why can't we always be friends, guys? Literally.
Yeah.
So I would try to stay out of these things. I couldn't tell you the story of what went on, but I know that you and Michael were. I don't know the straw that broke the camel's back.
You know exactly the story.
It had something to do with John Nelson for sure.
No, it had something to do with all of us.
What?
We were supposed to go to Europe, and
oh, that's right. Yeah, that's okay. That's where I was a second ago with the Michael Graves thing. Oh, there's Michael Graves. I'm sorry. I thought that this took place in Gotham Road.
No, this is it. This is the fight.
So yeah, dude. So we get ready to go on tour, and we don't hear from Michael or John Nelson.
Yeah.
And I think we hadn't heard from Michael, and we were trying to get in touch with him. We're like, yo, we gotta go on tour.
Yeah, it was soon. The day of those 2 shows. It was that day.
That day, yeah. Oh, I know. I'll never forget it. We played 2 New Jersey shows in one night with 2 different bands.
What was happening is
and we didn't speak to each other, any of us.
What was happening is I was getting emails from a UK promoter, and he bought like all of the shows in the UK, and he was like, "Yo, are you guys coming?" Because I think we were supposed to leave in like 3 days or some shit like that, and he's like, "Are you guys coming here?"
And I guess we got into the horn with Michael.
And I'm like, what do you mean are we coming there? The show's been booked for a long time. Like, we're supposed to be there. I don't see any reason why we
better be.
There.
We got our passports, motherfucker.
Right. And he's like, no, dude, like, there is no flights. There's no fucking plane tickets for anybody. I'm freaking out because these shows are booked.
Same as the tour before, but with a plane.
But I haven't heard back from John. No one's getting in
touch
with me.
No one was replying to any of them.
Yeah.
No one's getting in touch with you because they couldn't get in touch with them.
Yeah, John Nelson's not answering the phone. Michael's not answering. Like, I need to fucking see if this is still happening, or I
Yep.
gotta fucking refund all these tickets. And I'm like, I'm not the guy. You got the wrong guy. However, I'll relay the message because
You were the only guy.
I was like, my bag's packed. I'm thinking I'm leaving in a couple of days, so this is news to me.
Literally,
let me get back to you. And,
I remember it, as we had not heard from Mike. We couldn't get him on the line. That was going on. Eventually, we did get in touch with him, and he was like, "Everything's good." You know, he eventually called us. He's like, "Yep, everything's good." And it was like as simple as that. We're like, okay.
Right.
And what that led to is that day came around, and even the day before, 2 days before, 3 days before, we didn't rehearse. We didn't got our passports were ready, and then we just knew what was going on. So the night before the tour, we couldn't get in touch with anybody. I remember very specifically sitting on the curb with my bags packed. I was sitting outside of my house, ready to go, because I was living in Bergenfield at that point.
Yeah.
That's when I was in Bergenfield.
And that's what the fight was about.
That's how much we didn't know where to go.
Wasn't about.
And then
it wasn't about me butting my head into fucking whatever their business. It was the fact that, like, A, they were lying to us, and withholding the fact that things weren't good.
Yep.
Like, just tell me that just tell us the truth. You know what I mean? Like, or at least just say, all right, this can't happen. But, like, they basically just ignored everyone, including the people over in Europe. And I was being put in a position where, like, this guy's like begging me to, like, get information, the European guy, and I'm like, okay, I you know, but I'm honestly not the guy to talk to. And when I started talking to John Nelson about it, he just had the attitude that I should shut the fuck up, and it's none of my business. I'm like, well, if it's none of my business, then why are these assholes hitting me up? Because this is your business. This is your business.
Now, I believe it's the first time you get into it with you guys were like Peter Griffin the chicken at that point. The first time you guys got into it is probably right there, because Loki by this point knows that John Nelson was the guy who wanted him out.
Right.
So, like, he didn't want Loki there in the first place.
So he was doing Loki's job. He's calling me all sorts of motherfuckers, which is fine, and I basically tell him where he can stick it. And
as he does, that brash ass Loki.
Right after that, it's not brash, dude. It's just like, yo, you run a business, dude.
You're right.
You run a business.
You were the only one to open your mouth and say something.
Yeah.
You made everyone accountable. You called Michael and John Nelson out.
And that's all that anyone should be, is accountable.
Yep.
And so anyway, so John Nelson calls Michael up, and Michael calls me up, screaming at me like he's now we're calling each other all sorts of motherfuckers, because I'm like, you're just as guilty as fucking John Nelson, because you knew, and you just were afraid to fucking say anything to I don't know why.
The promoters certainly weren't writing to Michael.
Not
then anyway.
Right. So we had 2 shows to play that day still. And I'm like, fuck you. I quit. Find someone else to play these fucking 2 shows. I'm fucking out. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Like, fuck out of here, dude. Because
that was before gig 1.
Yeah, like, it's a piece of shit move by everyone involved. Like, to not forget us. Like, also the businesses out there in Europe that now have to refund all the ticket. Like, there's a lot that goes on. This is not just like you can't just make up your mind one day like, oh, we're not gonna go to Europe. That's fine. This is not how it works, man. So
the day you had the conference call, with the day you told John Nelson to fuck himself was the day we had the 2 shows, correct?
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's what you guys were fighting about, that, because I remember you guys fighting like, it was very apparent before the show.
Yeah.
You guys were like screaming at each other outside or inside the van.
I quit. I went to Dasha's house. I'm like, I ain't fucking going. I was like, I don't know what they're gonna fucking do, and I don't care. And she calmed me down, talked me down.
We all showed up.
I'm like, and she's like, just calm down. All you have to do is show up and play, and cooler heads will prevail. Like, obviously everyone's pissed off. Fine, okay. I calm down. I show up. If you remember, we played 2 shows. We didn't say a word to each other the whole fucking time.
Nothing.
And then after those 2 shows, like, he's like, well, you quit, so you're out. I'm like, oh, okay. If that's how we're doing it, okay, that's fine.
I don't yeah, I don't know what happened.
That's exactly. I
That was
just
the
told
last
you what
show though, right?
happened. I just
Yeah.
told you what happened. That's what
I
happened.
mean, at that time, I hadn't.
Yeah.
You know.
And so yeah, he's like, well, you said you quit, so you're out. So I don't want you in anymore. I'm like, all right, well, cool. All right, that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. I had shit going on in my life that was fucked up anyway. Bill had cancer again. My mom just passed away. Fucking stuff was going on. I had just started working for Sony.
Yeah, at that point.
Yeah. And actually, that was one of the last conversations with John Nelson. He goes, "Good luck with your job."
Mm-hmm.
That's what he said to me. Good luck with your job. All right, buddy.
So, I guess that was that. It dissolved.
Yeah.
And so I guess I'll take it from my perspective again. Is that, you know, we don't talk after tours, or we, like, usually it's not rare that, you know, like, some time will go by without us speaking, and sometimes you just, yeah, maybe cooler heads will prevail. Maybe it's probably worked itself out. But we were supposed to go on tour in the fall. That was already established that we were going on another coast to coast tour in the fall. But I mean, it was early in the game. You know, it was probably the spring when that happened, early summer or something. You know.
Yeah.
So very well, 2-3 months go by. I don't know if I can really hear anything, you know, and that's not too weird to me. I get a conference call. Michael calls me, hey, be on this conference call fucking this time. John Nelson. And the question we get on the phone, I don't know if Michael and John had spoken before about what we were speaking about. I have no idea. I don't think he had said this to Michael without me. But it was like John Nelson just cut right to it. He was like, oh well, listen, it's established that so, you know, we need a guitar player, and if your drummer will still do it, then we're good. We just need to find a guitar player. I've got these guys lined up, and it was like just ongoing, you know. And the conversation went, you know, I don't even know what's going on with you and Michael precisely, you know, like, so I'm just hearing it.
All right.
And what was said to me and Michael was, he's like, as far as the guitar player, he's like, I got this guy. You might know him. He's from New Jersey. He was in a band. He was in a bunch of bands out there. His name is Jason Trioxin. And me and Michael start laughing because Jason hated me, or because I just fucking, you know, I didn't come with him to California, and I joined the competitions band.
Right.
Jason wasn't happy with me. I was Loki, Paulie, as well as Germs, who was on the road with us in Gotham Road. We're like, when you look back at it, understand how Jason felt betrayed about it. But his entire band went on and started working for Michael Graves. You know, I mean, Jason also moved to California, but whatever the case, Jason felt slighted by it, didn't like me. Me and Jason hadn't spoken for a couple of years. And the first I hear Jason's name is on that fucking phone conversation. And I know damn well that Michael didn't like Jason either. Or, you know, Michael and Jason at that point, Michael wasn't a fan of Jason. Jason had done the Misfits tour, I guess, like, whatever happened. I don't know what happened.
Right.
But
doesn't matter.
Yeah. So it was Jason. I was going to play guitar. And yeah, you were at Sony. And fucking, that's what happened.
Yeah.
I had to. Now this is basically the question I asked you now, because after that I would find out going forward through the next like 6, 7, 8 years that nobody was kind of pissed at me for this decision, and I thought about it this way, but it was very simple to me why I did it. Still, in a lot of situations I should have quit with Loki at that point. You know, like, we were kind of a package. Loki got me the gig very much, you know, like, but the way I was approached with it and in the situation, like, I hadn't quit the band. I was waiting around to see what was happening. And I was privy to the plannings of it. And when, again, we get off the conference call, me and Michael speak, and I remember Michael being very cordial to me about it. He was like, listen, I know that you and Jason have a history. He's like, I don't like the guy. And I don't like the guy either. But he's like, if he can do it, and I want to say yes to John Nelson after what we pulled last time. So I know that Jason can play, and you do too. If you don't want to do this, that's fine. Just tell me. I know you and Jason don't get along. But me and Jason don't get along either. So whatever. And I said yes to it because I thought it'd be funny. And I love Jason to death, but he hated me, but I never wanted to fucking not be friends with that dude or anything. So like, that was just the oddest instance in the world that this guy didn't even know fucking that he was like putting all that chemistry that us and Jason had all the history we did. He had no idea. So that was, to me, the only situation.
Was Jason playing with Wednesday already or no?
I don't think so, because that comes out of this, I believe.
Gotcha.
So I knew that would be a chance to rekindle me and Jason. You were in the Sony thing and fucking pissed at Michael. You didn't, as far as I know, you didn't want to go, And it was a tough decision for me because it was like, should I not do this should I leave with Loki, who wouldn't have done this anyway, or I don't have anything to do, or should I fucking go ahead and do this because I don't have a job and all this shit going on to me and I'm not mad at Michael and fucking, that's what I do. And the straw that broke the camel's back and me making that decision is that if I left at that point, they would have needed a guitarist and a bassist. And that band would have became the two dudes who fucking walked in fucking in Doyle fucking makeup, and fucking Michael would have assumed whoever he would have. It would have been anybody, like anybody probably. If they could play a little bit, they were in.
Right.
And that's what would have happened anyway. But if to me in my heart, if I knew that I just wanted everyone to get along. I knew that what you and Michael were arguing over was bullshit. I knew that John Nelson would be a passing phase. I knew he'd be in and out. I knew that our arrangement with that manager, like the two before, was soon to dissolve, and it was bullshit while Loki wasn't there. That was me, Michael, and Loki at that point were a package. If I left, it would have completely got out of hand. Or I'm sorry, like if I stayed in the band, I knew that I could mend the fence between you and Michael. And it was Gotham Road. It was like that band didn't get a fair shake. We didn't even put a record out. We didn't even do anything. I do not want to live my life with that band not getting a proper release, without getting, if we have to sit out this conservative punk thing, just so one day me, Michael, and Loki can get back together and fucking resume this maybe. If I would have left right there, in my opinion, in retrospect, I'm 100% glad I did it. And regardless, it would take me a minute to even realize, because of course, maybe I said something to you and you're like, no, I don't mind, go. But as the years would go through, fucking, I would find out little by little that like you harbored a little resentment toward me for it. And I didn't always understand it.
It was minor resentment, but like, it's like, I just don't like when people
it's rightful. It's rightful.
When people play like Switzerland, I'm not a big fucking fan of it because it's not.
I'm very Switzerland.
Yeah,
I've always been like that with everybody. Like
I'm just not a fan of that. That's all. And not only that, but like, my point of view is that I wasn't just happy to be there. Like I wanted to push and make the last thing better, this thing better than the last thing, and keep fucking going. Like this is what I have always wanted to do with my life. And to me, being there was not like, oh, this is awesome. Like I can just be content with just sitting back and being there. That wasn't me. So when people aren't fucking held accountable and they're fucking things up for everybody else, I'm like, yo, what's going on? I should at least be allowed to fucking throw my 2 cents in there. Like, hey man, like, let's get the shit together here. You know what I mean?
I'll put it this way too. I don't know if it's your perspective, but going back into how many tours did you do with Graves?
So 2. It was 2 years, so whatever.
So you did fucking 6 months of Graves tours.
Yeah.
You were the MVP of that team as a fucking guitar tech, and like As it was, you were an MVP on that team. You were the dude on the road who.
Yeah.
You did a bit. You know?
It's just I would have preferred more accountability and like just I
Oh.
had already been thinking about like how things had gone, and it's just like there was. I understand it because I understand the position that he came from of being in the Misfits and then playing in front of nobody. I can understand how that just fucking takes a hit on you, and
Yeah, I was
he's
always aware
probably
of it.
lost. He probably didn't want to be in that situation at all. I get it. But we
And he was
never
so
got
fucking. He
we
handled it
never
so
got a
fucking
fair
pro,
shake.
though.
Hold on, we never got a fair shake.
Gotham Road?
His mind was even in Michael Graves'
No.
days. His mind was never into it. He was never fully committed. It wasn't until much later until he started working with Mark Allen Stewart where he found like a renewed sense of commitment. At least in my view, I could be wrong, but that's how I viewed it. He never had that commitment, and we were kind of always just left fucking hanging out to dry. And I'm like, yo, there's got to be some accountability here, and you're a part of that. So I didn't know why you didn't see that or take offense to that, because they were rolling all over fucking us, and I didn't like that.
I wasn't involved in the business aspect of it.
Right.
Is what it was. What would go on is we'd be on the road when all this shit would go on the road. Blunders of booking, blunders of scheduling vehicles, dates, and fucking the people we did business with. That much was we would always be in these fucked up situations, and it would always be said like, "Fuck, we could do this better ourselves." And fucking as many times as we would say that, and Loki would save the day, usually. In my opinion, I didn't notice this then, but looking back, the ball was, or maybe I didn't articulate it this way, but the ball was always taken out of your hands.
Yeah.
Like you were the most eligible and most capable, but I mean, be it with not playing on Punk Rock is Dead, fucking not being the booking agent, but not being the booking agent. I mean, but being the tour manager, but not being the tour manager.
I mean, honest to God, if
you
someone
fixed
there
everything that fell apart every
was
day.
competent, I would have gladly not fucking done a thing. If everything just fell into place as if their plan,
you were just.
I would have been happier than a pig in shit. I would have sat back, played guitar, had a great time. But like when you see things wrong, it's not my.
You spoke up.
I'm a leader. When I see things that there's a hole in leadership, I fucking feel that hole, because like I just can't sit back and be like, well, that's not my problem. Yep. It becomes my problem because I want this to be successful. So if I sit back and do nothing, then we're never going to do anything. So I need to take this upon myself and fucking push this along. And sometimes that rubs people the wrong way. I get it, whatever. But I felt like there was no choice. If I didn't do that, we would have fucking not done anything.
Yep. Totally
and I was just a dumb kid, Joe. Like I was learning on the fly. So
I was 3 years younger in a time where big 3 years then.
If there was any sort of dedication and commitment and willingness to fucking do stuff from anyone else's end, we probably could have dug ourselves out and fucking been successful. But like there was none of that. It wasn't time for him to be ready like that yet. He was not ready when we were fucking pushing that hard. He was not ready to push that hard.
I won't. I won't. You're right. I won't. Had he been, listen, had he been ready or whatever, had he been all in, wholeheartedly, it still would have went the same way, because we still would have ended up with the same fucking people representing us. And me and you, we were never naive enough. You were never naive enough to say like, oh, I could do this better.
Right.
That never happened. It just what happened.
Yeah.
So of course, Michael had every contact in the world that we didn't have. So when Michael said that had someone to work with like that, I didn't know any fucking managers or booking agents, not fucking one. So when we would have an opportunity and it was put to us that it was awesome, we understood that it was awesome, and we had no reason not to believe that, or so the fate might have went the same.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if on the other hand, maybe if Michael was like a little more cutthroat about it and like aggressive about it, he would have spoke up and said the things that you would end up saying in the first
Right.
place. You know, like, but I don't
I never got that because,
discredit
like,
Michael
yo,
for
I'm
it.
like, this is your business. Why don't you care?
He didn't know
Why
better. He didn't know
like, this is
better,
not
dude.
even my. It's not my name on the fucking billboard, dog.
In retro, I would never have known this then or put this together then. But looking backwards, that was his first tour in a lot of ways.
Right.
The Seasons of the Witch tour. You know, like Michael went for a situation where he was in a local band to the fucking Misfits to Graves, which at least Chud was there and managed that. Chud did all the business in that band. So to Michael, he just sang up and sang about songs and it was Michael Graves. He didn't handle the business. He hoped to get paid at the end of the day. You know, Chud took care of that. Chud just took Jerry's place. As to Michael's life, how old is Michael then? 25, 26?
Yeah, probably somewhere.
Michael never started a fucking had run a band from scratch or took a band on the road from scratch or managed a tour. And I'll tell you the pressure that he had to be under because fucking we looked at him as if he had or relied upon. The whole team did hinge on that, you know, like, and in retrospect, he probably was shitting his pants.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
can understand it. It's not like I don't have a lack of
'Cause,
understanding
listen,
or
man.
empathy for that situation. I get it. But
And also, not to say, dude, not to say this, we make it sound really bad.
yeah.
I consider all these days good days. I fucking adored every moment of it.
Yeah.
We had our struggles in business, but it was never that it wasn't going to get better. It was never that, you know, like we never said die or anything like that. The attitude was never that, you know, like,
I think I said die. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
fucking done with music. I'm fucking out.
Michael did it for you.
I did it for myself. I could have done
That's what I'm
anything.
saying. I
could
was
have
in the
just
middle,
gone
like,
on
I'm
and
still
did
going.
anything. Yeah.
I
could have done anything, but I was out. I was out.
I wasn't, dude. So I guess the question that I asked you two podcasts ago, or a podcast ago, that fucking at the end was from that point of you were maybe a little pissed at me for a couple of years.
It wasn't a couple of years. I think this is overstated. A couple of months later, all your shit was stolen, and I was fucking the guy that helping to fucking.
We were never not talking. We were never not friendly. We were not. That's what I'm saying though, dude. Is that like it would come up that like nothing changed. We still hung out as much. We did, and nothing changed. You told me to do it, and I did it, and that was good. And we still hung out on the weekends and whatever. And probably lived together a couple of those years. But I'll tell you from my perspective, exactly what the fuck I knew would happen and wanted to happen is what fucking happened. Right? You flash forward. So what? That's 2005, 6, 7. Me and Michael go on acoustic tours for 8, 9, or 7, 8, 6, 7, 8.
Right.
And 09, we had the first time we had to put a band together after the acoustic era. Look, he was playing guitar, Matt Johnson was on drums. That you were the guitar player in that band then. I mean, what was it, like 2-3 gigs? We played one-offs and shit like that. But you were back in fucking. It didn't seem like it or look like it, but fucking you played every gig in that middle era. So what did Michael do? Some acoustic after that? Again?
I did an acoustic thing with him.
What happens? 09 we did. Yeah. Bob Bloodfeast gets involved. I'm out of the picture. Bob Bloodfeast is in the picture.
Yeah.
I was living at your house. They were doing radio. They were planting the seeds of Radio Deadly. We had the studio together. We were all in the mix together.
What a shit show! I had Bob.
That's what I'm saying. So like you were back in the. Yep. Bob was fucking living in my fucking bedroom. Bob took my last pair of socks. That's the reason we fought. Do you remember that? I do remember it. I gave Bob everything. I welcomed it. Bob was welcome to live on Loki's couch, and I had a room in Loki's house. And Bob hung out with me because he didn't want to be, too much a burden. So he would hang out in my room, and I didn't mind it. I liked the company. But Bob overstayed his welcome.
Remember when I flew down the
stairs? Not overstayed
his
welcome. He was fucking around.
there was that little fisticuffs, and I fucking I like flew down the stairs
Yeah.
and
We,
threw
me
Bob
and him,
out of my house.
Well, to be fair, background of the situation also is it had gotten to a point where your girlfriend came to you and my girlfriend came to me in the same week and said that money was missing from their purse.
Right. I
And
totally forgot about that.
that had never happened before. Like, and mine and your girlfriend, like it was me and me, Loki, and our girlfriends were regulars in the house.
Right.
Now Bob's sleeping on the couch. Not to out Bob or fucking, but I don't know if Bob did it. Maybe
Right.
I don't know. You know, maybe you sleptwalked and did it. Maybe I sleptwalked and did it. Maybe Chris did it. You know, like, or maybe they're both crazy. I don't, not to implicate Bob,
Right.
but that was going on, and we didn't want to accuse him of it because we had no real reason to. We're both like, no, Bob wouldn't do that, but we were looking into it. And I was overstaying his welcome. A lot of notorious people on fucking Blu-ray, I think, at the time.
Right.
Big thing. Notorious on Blu-ray was a big thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, me and Bob got into a fist fight, bro, because he had gotten so comfortable in my stuff in my room and everything that he took, like, he was wearing my socks. He felt welcomed enough to borrow a pair of socks from me so many times that he went into my sock drawer, took my last pair of socks, and fucking, when I went to go get socks, was like, that's like how much he had fucking made himself at home, so to speak. We were like paying for him for everything, and like fucking, it was brutal. It was brutal, and that might be the last fist fight I got into. To be honest, I don't know, maybe no, I don't know. But point being is, I don't get in a lot of physical fucking altercations. Right. That was a tense situation. Yeah, you pulled us outside. Anyway, Bob Blood pieces in the fold. Right, like that's that time.
Yeah.
Bob was that's probably what it was. Is that we had the room. Bob was staying at your house, and you and Michael weren't exactly. Enough time had passed, and you know, like, yeah. But that's probably what put you back in the mix right there, right?
Yeah.
I was,
you know, even a little before then, because we did an acoustic thing with Chibo. So yeah, I wasn't like a guy in his band, but like I would be around. Like I wasn't back, but I would do some stuff.
Yeah, you were also 09, like the Marky Ramone shows and everything like that.
Yeah.
Great stories for you. Great stories for all of us because of you. You were certainly back in the mix, and things were kind of fucking back to normal. It was only fucking a matter of time, and that eventually happened. We fucking did that one gig in Rochester. That was the first gig that we played full electric, like, since that last gig. Fucking, we played 2 shows that day when you and Mike got into the fight.
Was that the show someone got stabbed?
No, it was Steak was there. We didn't know him yet.
Montage Music Hall?
Rochester.
Yeah.
That was the first gig with that lineup. I think then there was like Texas Fear Fest happened.
Right, with Jelly.
A bunch of one-offs. Yeah.
Remember Jelly?
Yep. We were booked as Gotham Road for that show too.
Yeah.
And we played a Gotham Road set without Paulie. It's the only time it really happened.
Out of that situation, Michael has the best picture that anyone's ever taken of him, and Sarah Sturgis took it. It was Jelly's girlfriend, or Jelly's friend, or whatever.
I think they're dude, they might be married at this point.
Right.
Yeah, they were not dating then, but it was like, come on.
Yeah, it was like, come on. Yeah, what are you doing?
They're dating.
But Sarah Sturgis, that picture's lived on, dude. That picture sold more copies
of him doing the makeup.
Anything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I'm standing right next to the camera in that picture. Like I was standing next to her when she took the picture.
I remember
when I see that picture, excellent.
Yeah.
When I see that picture, that picture is basically from my eyelids of the memory, you know?
Yeah.
Of that. Because again, he wasn't doing the makeup. You know, like that was the first time that had happened in a minute.
So that's
coming out of the acoustic era. Mm-hmm. Coming out of the acoustic era. We only played that one show with Jelly, right?
Yeah.
So then what happens is we fucking keep working with Jelly, and we start what becomes Doomsday.
Yeah.
In the background.
Kept Jelly around because remember he loved Crowbar.
Yeah. We started Doomsday and Darrow pretty much at the same moments.
Yeah.
The first recording of Darrow that exists, Michael recorded in that fucking in the Rockaway Studio, Dillinger across the hall. Like the first time we were in that room really jamming, I guess Michael came down and fucking check out the space. I think what happened was is he was going to rent it with us to set up studio space for himself to do Radio Deadly out of. And that's probably why we moved to the bigger room, because that's ultimately Michael started running Radio Deadly out of that room as well.
Yeah, the Doomsday Bunker.
Yeah, the room that Doomsday and Darrow were starting in, Michael was in the background putting Radio Deadly together, you know, and he was doing that with Bob, who was living at your house. So kind of naturally came together.
Yeah.
In the middle, I know that Michael had been mad at me in the middle, and that's why the Bob thing was there. But I was still in the mix too. You know what I'm saying? That's why you were around and I wasn't a lot at that point. That's why Bob ended up taking the spot I was doing with him with the acoustic things the last couple of years.
Yeah.
There was a little falling out there, but again, it was something. It was I understood why he was mad at me. It was a lot of bullshit. It wasn't like something worth not talking to someone about. Something you would blow over. But I understood the optics from his point of view that he would be mad. So you know, I didn't harbor any resentment to the dude. I again knew that we'll be doing this. Like as soon as I stepped out, you stepped in. The first time I
didn't really step in because I was still working for Sony.
No, you're right. You're right.
I would just.
You were always there.
I was like around, but not around.
Waiting on the wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but that
and
time,
I'll tell you this.
That time in between there, we just did our own thing, and that was that.
You didn't want to play at that time because I remember when I was putting together Doomsday and Darrow, and I had to beg you. You're like, I'm done, dude. You know, I got a job. It's a good thing. It's good. I got a good thing going for me. It's good. I can't fucking be putting that type of time anymore. I'm not going to start a band now. And I fucking had to beg you, motherfucker. You were completely not into being in a band, period, at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, you might have been around hanging out and drinking, but you know. And Michael, he was so in the acoustic thing. It was going so well, and going forward, it was to be happening then.
Yeah.
Oh, and then he was in Marquee. So I mean, like, I guess you were around, but there was no Michael Graves live band.
Right.
Yeah. And I guess this is where the story, I guess, would fall out of our hands for a minute. I guess at that point, I don't even know what happens next. We're doing Doomsday and Darrow. I don't know how Michael ends up working with Carmen and Tony and fucking like starting the next phase of the band. His Vagabond.
But I guess I'll have Carmen on next week, so he'll tell me.
Yeah. Michael was mad at me. Bob took my place. Bob lived at your house.
Yeah.
I think that's
I don't know
where
much of it because
I drop out, and so do you.
And I
don't know how that phased. I don't know how we were never contacted or briefed when he put together a new live band coming out of the acoustic thing. I didn't expect it. I didn't know it was happening. Like, you know, I was not in the mix.
Right.
I knew that they were doing it, and that's what it was. It was fairly incredibly different than anything we did. So it wasn't like we were being replaced, or you know, like I had no reason to be butthurt about it or anything. I didn't expect to get that call, and everything was fine. You know, I was confident that fucking, or I don't know. I understood that potentially that me and Michael might not work together again, maybe, or no way. It was always, to me, dude. It was always, dude. I believed in Gotham Road. Like nothing else until fucking Darrow or Doomsday, maybe a little at some points. You know, where like it was definitely Doomsday. Where like I knew that the music that we were writing and playing, the way we were playing it, and the lineup of people who were playing it had captured lightning in a bottle, or had magic, or had fire to it. Like it was good. You know, like that had this being represented correctly.
I never had
it advertised correctly. Had we had a budget to record with an engineer who knew what he was doing, you know, like if me and you weren't mixing the record, you know, when we never mixed the record in our lives.
Once the original timeline failed, and then I saw the attitude towards that time from his point of view. Like he
What do you
kind of
mean?
resented it.
Yeah, you're right. It was poo-pooed upon.
So like
That wasn't safe to do yet.
I never had a
He wasn't right to do that yet.
I never had like aspirations. Like I never thought we were gonna do Gotham Road again, or that would get another fair shake. Because I could just
I
see that
always did.
he had already resented it, and like he wasn't. I mean, he was into it for a little while because it was a fun thing to do at the time. But like, I don't think he ever loved it. You know what I mean? Like, that's not. He wasn't into it. I think ultimately he was not into that.
He was, to be fair, and I'm gonna, to be fair and not to air anyone's personal business. It's different. This isn't the story of the band. This is personal business.
Right.
He tried to leave a couple times, man.
Yeah.
He tried to stop playing a couple times. For a couple different reasons. And as he would try these new things, you know, like parlaying it into.
He did not want to be a music man.
He was, dude, radio. He was very serious with Radio Deadly at first.
Yeah.
That was another thing that, like, he would have might have stopped playing right there for sure. He was more passionate about that than.
Yeah.
He was very. He was an EMT. He, you know, he went down a lot of career paths out that were not music.
He wanted to do anything
very
else.
committal.
He wanted to do anything else.
To be fair, he was trying the whole time.
Yeah.
But there were things around him and things in his life that fucking made him fucking that he had no choice. Like he was better off. Like he was better off doing that than anything. Like everything Rhodey had gone down kind of.
Yeah.
He was still doing better as Michael Graves than he was as nobody in a new field. You know what I'm saying? And he certainly fucking worked it. And I'm sure to me, I thought, you know, the acoustic thing probably is what got him out of it. Definitely what got him out of it, man. He had no overhead. You have no idea how successful it was by the time. I mean, this is the first time I was kicked out of the band happened in between that too, but I was back in like 3 months though. I got kicked out after the gear got I got kicked out after what is it? What did we did Punk Rock is there. The second Michael Graves tour was called what? It was like we were touring on the Return to Earth record. It was me, Quincy, Jason, and Michael, which was the most dangerous band I've ever been in to this day, almost.
Right.
To be completely honest with you. What four debaucherous people in a situation to be debaucherous that encourage each other to be debaucherous, and yeah, Jason, Quincy, me, and Michael certainly fucking could find trouble for ourselves. I mean, we got in trouble, but fucking we had a lot of fucking fun. That band got a lot of fights. Fucking.
Is this true or not true? You guys felt as if he was pushing Jesus on you.
That was happening for a second. I wasn't. Listen, that was happening. But I was out.
Was happening?
By the time it happened, I wasn't there.
Okay.
What the real reality of the situation is I guess. The last Graves tour of the live band era would be again me, Quincy, Jason. We're doing the beginnings of they're almost home tours. This was the second almost home tour. We're in an RV that Michael owned. We broke down in the RV in North Dakota. Michael had taken a sizable loan. He owed a lot of money on this thing, and he put money into buying an RV. And we were about to do it, like, you know, do a whole bunch of touring. And the RV made it to Fargo, North Dakota, where it broke down. Like broke down. And the reason you don't want to be in an RV on the road is because when something goes wrong with an RV, and it will, because they're not meant to pull trailers and have 8 people in it, the weight shaking all day, every day, all day long, consecutively. That's not what an RV is for. An RV is meant to take a long trip and stop, you know, and be used once a season. Fucking if you use an RV every day, the maintenance is absurd. All the electronics shake, all the engine, everything that's in there that is awesome about being an RV shakes and fucking is maintenance. There's a fucking shower that needs to be maintained. There's fucking all these, like, yeah, you got TVs, you got PlayStation and shit, but fucking it stops working real quick.
Yeah.
You know, like, or electricity just won't go to the back and fucking, or it just smells like literal human feces.
The pisser stinks because you fucking haven't released the piss in a few days. Fucking.
Yep, and it needs to be really emptied all the time, and no one likes to do it. Sometimes you just can't do it. You know, there's a lot of, you know, there's not a lot of places to do it, and sometimes when it's full, you know, you either got to wait to do it legally or do it illegally to empty it. Whatever the case. And then there would be we were renting. No, I'm sorry. I was thinking the Joe tour for a second. I was gonna say the running of the generator.
Right.
You know, generators take a lot of gas, like doubles your gas bill, and you're high overhead because you're an RV. Whatever the case, when an RV breaks down, it's not like it's a Ford fucking engine. You can't, especially even in 2006. They're rare parts. The RV was probably like any RV is usually kind of old if you could afford it. You know, like if you're taking it out as a band, it's not a brand new. It's not that year's RV.
Hold on a second.
So what I'm saying is, when an RV goes down, you can't just go to the gas station and get a fucking part. Like when we tour in those 15-passenger vans, that's the same engine that's in a fucking NF-150 and F-250. Like that's in every pickup truck in the country. That's in fucking, they're universal through fucking 20 years of that engine. And you can literally go to AutoZone anywhere in the country and get parts for that vehicle, not in an RV. There's very custom pieces. People don't want to mess with it. The engines are very inept. The wiring is inept. It's a huge ordeal. And you're not getting that shit fixed and finding the part one day when you break down on the road.
Nope.
When you break down, you're dead in the water unless there's a part there and a guy who's willing to fix it right then and there. And it's specialist mechanics usually who do it. So in Fargo, North Dakota is not where you're going to find that shit regularly. We spent a week broken down Fargo, North Dakota, with the electric went out, with the generator stopped running, the engine didn't run, and we were living in a truck stop parking lot for a week. I spent my last $5 on a blanket. Fucking, we sat there 5 weeks hoping the engine would get fixed or hoping the mechanic would get it done, and it came to the point where it was no longer financially sustainable to keep all of us in Fargo, North Dakota. Not only did we have to cancel shows, but how are we going to afford to stay in Fargo and fucking 8 of us until fucking
should have started looking for jobs
whenever it was fixed. Dude, that's totally what was going on.
Start working at Denny's there, bro. Fucking.
We didn't get to that point. We were there probably like 7 to 10 days, and we had heard that it was going to be like 3 weeks until it would be done. And the executive decision that we were all going home on Greyhounds, or arrangements would be made, and Michael was going to stay there with the van and stay in a Motel 6. And he did.
Well, that's how people live. That's how people end up living in South Dakota. They just break down there, and that's it.
Yep. Yeah. That's probably like 50% of the population of Dakota. Right. But you have to have noticed this, but I don't know if you guys still played there, but we always played Fargo after that situation, and it was always awesome because Michael fucking lived there for like fucking 3 weeks. Right. He got up, he had nothing to do. He got up with like a band out there. He ended up playing acoustic shows with the Nestor Tavern it was.
Yeah.
And he's locked down he made a lot of friends when he was there, I guess, you know, like, and he locked down a great situation for us fucking in Fargo. We always had great Fargo shows after that. Really funny. Like the whole week would be bad. You'd never think Fargo would be great, and people would show up like, fuck, dude. For years, Fargo was a great show. So yes, okay, Jesus is going on and everything like that. The RV breaks down. And that's the tour. Okay, so there's 2 funny things. Quincy, Corey, and Corey was our merch guy. Corey worked for the Misfits. He was a merch person for them. He owned Souls Ablaze merch. Did a lot of fucking Misfits t-shirts and stuff. Me, Corey, Quincy, and presumably Jason get on a Greyhound. I've never taken a Greyhound. I'm like, we gotta take a bus. Oh, taking a bus is probably no different than driving what we drive in. We got to go home anyway. No big deal. You know, I've never been in a Greyhound. I don't know. All I had was like Quincy telling me, yo, Greyhounds suck, bro. You have no idea. And Quincy would have been unhappy if we were in first class. So whatever. We all get in. We're making the best of it. We've been freezing in the winter in the parking lot fucking for the last 10 days. So we're kind of stoked to go home. We got to the second stop. We're like in there. Momentum's good. We're fucking around the yard in a bus. We're gonna make the best of it. The four of us sitting together. At the second stop, Jason gets up and gets out. And Jason gets up. He's like, "All right, guys, here's my stop." We're like, "Stop." Yeah, I'm gonna go hop a plane and go see my girlfriend. Or I'm taking a plane home. And fucking, we're like, "You motherfucker." And from the second stop forward, the rest of that ride sucked because we just sat there like, that fucking prick, that piece of shit, fuck him. You know, like, because Jason never told us she was flying home. You know,
Right.
like, we would have fucking flown home or tried to fly home if
Right.
fucking some of us were. We didn't want to go out of the way for anybody. You know, like, I need a ride to the airport. Quincy needs a ride to a different airport. You know, like, we got to drop everyone off everywhere. You know, like, so we want to kill Jason at that moment. The whole ride, it was a 3-day Greyhound. I've now been on a Greyhound since, and I wouldn't get on one again. I've taken buses. I would not take a Greyhound. I've taken shittier buses than Greyhound buses, and I still wouldn't take a Greyhound. They're fucking the awfulest. It's the most awful experience you'll ever have in your life.
Yeah.
3 fucking days straight, bro. You don't get to smoke shit or eat. You have to do one of those things a day. You have to pick. Because if you go to shit, then they let the whole bus out at a bus stop for the one time a day. They do like their food stop. So 60 people get out and go to there's 2 fast food places. 60 people get out and go to fast food to get fast food. If you're at the end of that line, or if you're even fucking 30 deep of it and the guy's an idiot at the register, you're gonna get food. Most of the bus doesn't get food. If you went to the bathroom because it's your first Greyhound and then got online, you're like, you're at the back of the line. There's no way you're getting food. They will leave you. Like Greyhound specifically. When you get a 20-minute break, that shit leaves 20 minutes in and do a fucking head count.
Right.
They will leave you. Yeah, we saw them leave so many people. So, and you caught on quick, bro. They probably left someone at the first stop chasing them just so you knew. You know, like, so yeah, even smoking cigarettes, bro. It was like smoke, eat, or shit. We did 3 days of it.
Choose.
Brutal. Brutal. Yep. So I guess here. So that goes into this. Before I had left on that tour, there's a good one because this is a funny chain of events. Going into leaving from that tour, I was living in Bergenfield with that girl Amy, who I had met. I would have this chain of events would never have happened had I not came to see you on Ozfest. I don't know how that was. You're saying you did Ozfest 2004. I had come off of a tour. You were already on Ozfest or whatever. I came home from tour, and I was living at Brian's house. I was going to be getting home while Brian's family was on vacation, so I'd be the only person in the house when I got home from tour.
Right.
I stayed there one day, and the next day I was to go down the shore to do the vacation with Brian's family for a week. So I come off tour, I do a week of partying, fucking with Brian's family down at the beach, and I come back up to see you on Ozfest as you came around. And Loki was a guitar tech for fucking Dark Tower on Ozfest, so we had VIP. I had a VIP pass and go fuck where I want. Tito was their manager. I was hooked. I got fucking smashed. That was just the end of. That's where my body quit. You know, like I had partied for the 55-day tour, 10 days fucking down the shore with my friends,
right.
And at Ozfest it was over. And I fucking this chick who I knew found me with like a twisted ankle, drunk and passing out like in the heat. Like it wasn't that bad, but I'm by myself, looking pretty sorry, limping across the field of PNC. And this girl I knew fucking I'd met before, she's like, "Are you okay? Like, you got to get out of here." And meanwhile, while I was sitting down, good side note, that was the day that Ozzy wasn't playing Ozfest that day.
This was
and it was
Camden.
announced.
This wasn't PNC.
No, it definitely wasn't. But you're right. That event happened in Camden.
Yeah.
But the aspect I'm going to say carries into the next show. Um, Rob Halford sang for Black Sabbath. So a lot of people like left the Ozfest. And I remember this whole when this girl found me, Rob Halford was singing for Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
And I was like kind of just watching it on like a curb by myself. I couldn't even make it to the seats. And whatever the case, man, that girl like she's like, you want me to take you home or whatever? And that girl just like kidnapped me from that fucking moment. And fucking 2 days later, I think we were dating somehow. This pushy girl. You know, like we were dating and fucking next thing we had an apartment and like fucking it was incredible. She got me a job. Like she got me hired at a place. She's like, you start Monday. I was like, and I remember I went through I went through the whole process of like the job was at a video store and I fucking loved it. So it was fucking awesome.
Right. I remember that.
Wound up being a great thing for me, you know? And video store so I go on tour, come home, video store is closed. So I had that job. And then that girl then got me a job. As soon as I lost my job, she got me another job. Same scenario right away again. And it was even fucking cooler too. She got me a job at Tower Records then.
Yep.
And I worked Tower Video, bro, until I went on tour, came home, and that place closed while I was on tour too.
Fucking Tower. Dang.
Yeah. Tower Paramus, man. I loved working at that store. Jason worked there too for years. Fucking meet a lot of that place was it had the largest newsstand of magazines on the East Coast. Like they sold more magazines at that location than anywhere else on the East Coast. And it was like revered for it. It was revered as a bookstore. Their classical music section was one of the biggest in all this, you know, of all the Tower Records. It was a huge hub of that company on this coast. So it was a hopping fucking tower too. So the people who would come in there and the special events that they would have and fucking, it's awesome to work there, dude. And then they had a full video department as well. Great place to work. It was the end of my retail world. Whatever the case, that girl thought she was gonna. She was like, she thought she was gonna whip me, man. That girl was like, I'm gonna break this motherfucker. Fucking like, she thought she was gonna get me out of playing. She thought she was like, and I know she was like straight talk about it. She's like, oh, his band's done. She was like totally serious. Like she's like, he's not gonna do this for long. We're getting married. What the fuck? You know? And at this point, I fucking got nowhere to go. I got a tour ahead of me. Fucking, I'm like, I gotta get out of this situation, but I gotta leave on tour in a month too. And I can't fucking go on tour and fucking, you know, so I gotta fucking make this work. You know, so I'm dealing with it. The week I left on that last tour, two things happened. That girl punched me in the face before she went to work on two consecutive mornings. I was sleeping. And that girl punched me in the face before she walked out of work twice. That's how bad that situation was. She hated that I had a tour that I was going on and like that I didn't have to go to work. Just hated it. It was like I was doing stuff every day and shit, you know, like that girl she so didn't want me to be in a band, but wanted me. So I was like, I knew I had to get out of there. And fucking, but I had to fucking stick around, bro. You know, I had to at least go on that tour, come home, see if things changed, and then fucking and get the fuck out of there. Presumably. Meanwhile, the same week, Jason comes over, and Jason's like, "Oh, I met this girl. She's really cool. I think you know her. Fucking blah blah blah." And that ends up being Emily O'Connell. Small world.
Right.
In the past, I knew Emily's sister and fucking had like a little thing with Emily's sister. And like me and that girl hit it off really hard on the road one day. And it's like one of those things, everyone's had this, or you ever be on the road and like you meet someone, or anywhere, not even on the road, be in another state and you meet someone and you're like, you know what, if I lived in this state, we would probably get together, but they have their life here and you have your life there and it just couldn't work. And that's it. You know, you go on your real life. I had that history. How rude.
Dog.
I had that history with that girl. That was basically Jason was trying to court this girl in Illinois who was the sister of a girl I knew, and they were living together. So Jason very slyly is like, "Hey Joe, you know, like after this tour, what do you think about fucking me and you fucking go down here, we hang out with these girls for a couple weeks, blah blah." Like, yeah, bro, that's not a good idea, man. Me and that girl, that girl's trouble. You know, like that ain't gonna go good. You know, like, and Jason the whole tour is like he basically egged the whole thing on to getting me and Caden stalking again and shit like that. Just because he just wanted a wingman.
Right.
You know? And I was telling him, I'm like, you don't want to put me and that girl together, and it's not a good idea. Nothing good is going to happen from that. You know, like what we are doing is not going to be benefited by me and that girl getting together right now. And I just, you know, it's dangerous. And it was.
Yeah, you came home married.
Yes, me and Jason come home from the tour. We leave a week later to go out to fucking Ohio. We stay with those two girls for probably a couple weeks until Cadence gets evicted while we're there, and both of them have no place to go. And we didn't have anything. The only person who had, I broke up with my girlfriend at that point. You know, like somewhere in that line, I'd broken up. Like that dissolved. I think it dissolved while we were on that tour. So I became free to fucking do that. You know, and I, you know, I was single halfway through the tour. I just had to get my shit out of the house, and so when I came up on the tour, and I bounced immediately to do that. It sounded like a great idea because I just broke up with my girlfriend, and I lived there, and all my shit was there. You know, like so. All of a sudden, in the middle of that 3-week thing, I had met this girl. Fucking everything's good. Me, Jason, beautiful situation. Then we get evicted. I have no place to go, and those two have no place to go. And fucking already in the background of all of it, fucking somehow it became presented that I had to fucking pull something off. There was no one behind me, not my family. I had no money, not my family. Nothing was going to help me out of that house. You know, I had just gotten into it. I just got furniture at it, and I had to go. You know, like no one was going to help me with that at that point. No one could have helped me either. So I had to make magic happen, and fucking just work it with what I had, man. Fucking that girl fucking convinced me, man. She wooed me, and we got married. It was awesome too. You know, like I don't, you know, it's crazy. I agree, but Jason got so mad. Jason was so mad. I guess he felt that it undermined him a bit.
Puts a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah, I didn't. I really didn't look at it that way. I thought Jason should have been happy for me. You know, I thought Jason should have been like, oh, look at me, Mr. Matchmaker, you know, like or something like that. But Jason was like, I'm not marrying the other one, you know, and fucking like, and she's got no place to go. Are you gonna take her? And I wasn't thinking about the other. She just moved in with Cadence. She can go back to her fucking dad's house. I don't fucking know. I'm not. She's not my responsibility. I'm in love, man. I just got married. Fucking things are good. Thanks, Jason. And then I had to be home in time to get sued by that other girl and pack my shit. No, my family had to pack my shit for me. My friends and family got all my shit out of the house.
Yeah, I was one of them.
Yeah, you were there. I wasn't even in the state. I don't think. I wouldn't have been allowed to be if I was there. It was too volatile. Fucking, she would have burnt the house down while I was moving that shit out.
Yep.
You know, I might have been there for one day actually. When I came home, and I remember the first time my mom met my then wife was in the parking lot of the courthouse because I just got in to get sued that day. Like that, fucked up. Dude.
What did she take you to small claims court for? What did she
sue
you for?
You know exactly what she sued me for? $200 of past electric because I caught up there. She sued me for $200 of past electric. Gesundheit. And it was something else like this, but I remember the crown jewel was a Rob Zombie CD. And I'll never forget it. It was Rob Zombie's Past, Present, Future, a Digipack.
Does the judge read this?
Yes. It was signed by Rob Zombie. I know because I got it signed by Rob Zombie for her because she asked me to. I waited in like a 3-hour line in the heat at a concert so my girlfriend could go see other bands to get this CD signed for her. And I guess when y'all or whoever packed up that house, I was definitely there for packing up that house to some extent, at least. I didn't believe I had that CD. The other things were just absurd. It was like my t-shirt.
Right.
You know, like as if I took this girl's fucking size small fucking t-shirt. Fucking, it was all such a moot point, and it was like at that point I think that I don't know if I pleaded guilty or what the fuck. Oh, she didn't show up. No, yeah, I think I think I paid like $300 and had to like supplement the CD with money or something like that, and that was that. It was like in and out.
Boy, she really knew how to fucking just dig in and fucking just, because that's just annoying shit, right? Like this is like spiteful, annoying crap. So she really knew how to do that.
Oh yeah, dude. And God, did I, you know, in the end, I guess I really got her. I didn't. It wasn't revenge
Right.
per se or anything. I just wanted out. I didn't fucking. You know, I just thought she was crazy. Wasn't trying to get her back, but do you think my exit plan was that I'm gonna go from here, leave this girl, and get married to someone? So, but whatever the case, man, the excitement and the oddity of Joe getting married became enough to where I knew, even if my family didn't like the idea, even if the people around me didn't like the idea, it would parlay me into a situation where, like, I had no place to go. I had no place to go. I had, you know, I knew that living with a couple of people was easier than living by yourself.
Right.
You know, and I had nowhere to go. I was going home to nowhere at that point. Couldn't stay at my parents' house. So when they had no place to go, there were three of us who had no place to go, and it made sense. We went back to Jersey, and fucking, I just knew that we'd go back to Jersey. I could find a place for us to stay, and we'd figure it out. Find a place. We did. It all came together. You know, that's where the West House was born, or not the West House, the
Nightmare on
Seventh
7th
House.
Ave.
Yes, the Seventh House of Nightmare on 7th Avenue.
This is a good place to end it, because
well, no. Let me get to the point of that.
Right,
I'm not going
right.
to dean you. Don't worry. The reason I say that is I was basically, we came home from that tour. Jason was upset with me because of that. Emily, the sister, wound up staying with Jason and his mom at his mom's house in the basement. At first, they were supposed to stay for like a week, and she was to go home or whatever. But Jason did not want that girl living with him in the basement. Their relationship was fine and everything. It just wasn't working out. Her living, he couldn't have her there. Or I think Momsen was cool with it, actually. Jason wasn't. Jason was fine with her. There was no problems between them. It just couldn't be happening in that basement. He was not living with that girl. I don't know why it was, but that's what it was. So he was pissed. Jason can throw a fit. He can throw a fit. If he's mad at you, fucking everybody knows. Like, you know, from a mile, fucking 3 miles away, you know that Jason and that person don't get along if he's mad at you. And I guess I didn't know how much we were fighting, but I didn't think it was like enough to like cause a problem. But Jason had gone to Quincy, or Jason and Quincy had basically went to Michael and said, Joe's fucking out of his mind. You know, like he's fucking crazy. He just went off and got married. Is he fucking thinking? Is he fucking, like, he's not right, dude. You know, like, Joe's crazy, you know? And I presume, I guess how Michael tells it to me, and from what I understood happened, this is where Jesus comes in. That's why. That's where they
Jesus
go to.
comes in?
This is where Jesus comes in. They go to, this is the beginning of the acoustic thing. Almost Home 2 was an electric full band tour. The Illusions record is, we were already doing the West Memphis 3 thing in the full band.
Right.
I guess he starts working with some people in West Memphis through the fucking the West Memphis 3 things that we were doing, the foundations we would work with, whatever. And one of the biggest groups, and they were good people, they were awesome, they put us up there, they were awesome. We're a church group, who was like a church group that were huge funders in the West Memphis 3 movement. They were a big part of everything.
Right.
And they would book us, and it was great, and it was accommodating, it was fucking awesome, and we did a lot with them. They were around for a while. It was this lady, Stacy Mack. She's sweet, heavy set, African American woman, fucking like all love, like every, you know, like total like mama to everybody lady. But Jesus was what they sipped on, bro. And fucking when we were around it, me, Jason, and Quincy just kind of, it was like conservative punk to us, you know, like we're like, whatever, man, we'll be out in the back fucking drinking beers, you know. we're not going to church, you know, like we're gonna go to McDonald's, Denny's, fucking. So it wasn't a big deal. Michael was totally sipping on that Jesus tea then. At that point, it didn't become a thing while I was there, but it was happening around me for sure. So I guess what happens is the RV is now fixed. Michael's in Dumont, fucking, and they go to Lee. Quincy and Jason are guitar and bass in a 3-man acoustic band to record this record that's going to be all acoustic. So the band's kind of changing up too. And they went to record Illusions, just like what happened with Punk Rockers. Then I get a fucking call. I didn't even know they were doing it. And it went up to the point where they had a full tour book. They were going out on the road, and I believe the RV broke down and caught on fire, to be honest with you. The undercarriage of the thing caught on fire. And suffice to say that tour didn't happen. So, like, I was only out of the band for when they went to West Memphis to record Illusions. And from what I understand the situation from all parties, it was a blunder. And like most of the tracks that were initially put down on that record were redone so many times from this session, you know, like that, who knows who plays what on what anymore on that record. Right. I wasn't there. I don't fucking know. That dissolved, and that wasn't going to work. That situation. As Michael put it to me, is it was they didn't want to work with me. They wanted me out of the band. They thought I was crazy. They thought they were. I don't know what they thought. They thought I was crazy. But it's probably Jason. Quincy's not hard to fucking get riled up. It's not hard to get Quincy to be like, yeah, fuck him, to anything. And Jason got his way. But again, it kind of I just sat out the same term that they sat out. I don't think if they played 2 shows without me acoustic, that was it. And then as soon as like Michael didn't want to work with Michael or Quincy at that point. And when he decided to do the acoustic thing the way he was going to do it, to tour for what would be Illusions Live, he called me and he was like, listen, man, I'm sorry. You know, like the majority wanted you out. Fucking, I didn't know if it was what they were saying was true or not. But turns out, you know, they said you were crazy, but it turns out that they're fucking crazy.
Right.
So let's fucking do this. And and for the next 3-4 years, I'm fucking Michael's fucking personal assistant, basically. Fucking, and what was a fucking excellent time. Me and him sat in a fucking pickup truck for fucking the next 4 years, dude. Yeah, I think it's 3-4 years, man. Just me and him in the same pickup that had 2 seats. Fucking with everything that we had with us, we could carry in 4 hands. Fucking naturally with no overhead and, you know, not having to that's 1 hotel room, that's fucking 1 tank of regular truck gas, you know, like, and we're still making the same guarantees we had been making. All was well, you know. We had a lot of fun, and I understand why the acoustic thing went so well. You know, like, get it. Did the job. It was awesome. And that parlayed into Marky Ramone, right? Well, he got the Marky Ramone call right in the van driving around. We're in the truck.
Damn.
That's where that story ends for me. I mean, without going into that era. But yeah, Jesus showed up right in the couple of weeks when they were recording Illusions was when Jesus came. I hadn't seen Jesus. When they came back from Illusions, I don't know what happened down there, but Jesus was there. And when Michael came back, it was me and him in the truck. If Jesus was there, there wasn't a lot of room for him. Maybe Michael left him behind because there wasn't a 3rd seat. I don't fucking know.
Right.
I don't.
He said it was.
I mean,
he said it was highly exaggerated.
I don't remember Jesus being there.
Yeah, he said it was exaggerated and overstated. Michael. He said that the whole Jesus thing, they kind of freaked out about it. Fucking, it was like they like completely exaggerated the whole thing, which I can see Quincy.
Yeah, that's probably why fucking.
And also that they came.
Absolutely, and Jason was just.
they came completely unprepared. They didn't know any of the parts, and that's what ended that.
Yeah, no, yeah, that wasn't Jason's foray yet, for sure. He wasn't the type of guitar player that band needed.
Right.
Yeah, he would become it in certain ways going forward, but he wasn't. Jason wasn't prepared for that. He'd never done something like that. I don't even know if he was the right man for the job. Jason's an awesome performer. Why are you gonna put him on a fucking stool? You know, he's probably best served doing something else anyway, and he did. He went on to Wednesday 13.
Yeah, he went to Wednesday 13. Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah, I think that's where that starts too.
And
Bigger and better
this
things.
brings us to you fucking living on 7th Ave and
Yeah,
writing
I'm
a
living on
record
7th
about it.
Avenue and fucking yeah. I was fucking married longer than fucking anyone in my family except for my grandparents. It wasn't a disaster.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't, you know, but I was married for 4 years, 3-4 years. You know, it's not like fucking. It certainly worked out for until it didn't, but
Right.
that's what happens when fucking. Listen, it's fucking very fucking difficult to have a relationship and be in a band that tours on the fucking schedule that we fucking tour on.
No
dude.
shit.
And have a home. That's what I'm saying. To have a home and a relationship, because like, unless you, in reality, we all should have lived together the whole time. We all, it never happens, but
Right.
that would have been the safest bet, to be honest with you. Is we'd all go off and have our own fucking lives. Because who wants to see the? I don't want to go home and fucking be on the road with the same people I live with like that. You know, it is crazy. Yeah, you know. But everyone wants to have their own life. And that's not a tall order to have your own life and fucking be in a band, you know. But I mean, try to manage a relationship that you're literally not there half the year. You know, like 3 months out of the year you're there, and then you're gone for 3, and you're gone for 3 months, and then you go out for 3 months, and then you're back for 3 months. And that schedule persisted for how many years then?
Yeah.
For me, from 2003 to 2009, or 2009, 10. That was 3 months on, 3 months off, dude. And fucking coming home to those situations, man. It's fucking rough, dude.
That kid's is
hard
why
to keep,
I'm
hard to
gonna
keep a relationship together, hard to keep a
I'm gonna
job.
be 42 in 3 weeks, and I'm still single. That's you just heard why.
Well, dude, I don't know. That's crazy. I mean, that's mine was condensed more, but yours was condensed more. I'm sorry. Like, I probably did the same amount of consecutive tours at that point without a 3 months off. That you did, but yours was mine was in a decade, and yours was in fucking what, 4 or 5 years.
As crazy as it is,
like where you guys were.
I fucking
gone.
loved it. I loved it.
You were doing more than 3 months on, 3 months off.
Yeah,
of course. I would love it too. I would, I mean, what we said on the phone the other day, and this starts to bleed to another era, and I won't go deep down it, but as much as in ways my heart was fucking out of fucking that band a little bit before, I wasn't there anymore. I quit.
right.
Fucking, I quit and I got fired. I think, yeah, that always happens.
No, we had an
quit,
argument. I had an argument, remember? And it didn't go well.
Yeah, and I quit. No, I still got fired though. I still got fired like 3 months later.
Right.
I got a call to be like, I got a call to have a fight and get fired. I was like, I quit. Hi guys, like, how you been? You didn't know I quit a long time ago? How'd you miss that? So I did get fired too. Oof. You might. So I'm just saying there might be a version of the story flying out there that I was fired as well, and that might be arguably true as well. I mean, depending on who you talk to. I quit though. As much as my heart wasn't in it at that point, it's because my heart was in Darrow, and it's because I wanted to resume doing that, and it's because it was like the band. We were always good in that band. There wasn't a lot of enthusiasm fucking for it. It's like I felt like I had enthusiasm for Michael Graves' band going into it. I was stoked to go back to it, even nothing to do with Darrow. But I was the only one. I felt like a fan in that band at that point. Like Michael just was seemingly tired of horror punk. Had a whole fucking like anything like it. You know, like you just like it was like I was like a nerd because I wasn't a sports fan. As to like the dynamic of things, like I was the odd man out, dude. I was the only guy who like loved all that shit in there. So to me, it was like I don't know. They, had it had I come into the situation where it was the tour after I quit because Michael fucking and you fucking or I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. But regardless of what happened, I can tell you this: fucking there was a hell of a lot more fucking enthusiasm going on. You know, like there was a lot more effort put in. There was a lot more enthusiasm. There was um there's look at any show of 2000. Dude, we were a great band, you know, played great. But just watching Michael, who was great every night. I'm not saying he wasn't. He was so much greater in the next phase of that band that I wasn't there for. That it was unmistakable that it was go time, or it was unmistakable that
Right.
he was in it, you know, and he hadn't been.
I couldn't
previous
name you a moment of why. I really can't. I was there, but I couldn't tell you
I
a
don't know
moment
when
of why that
either.
changed. I really couldn't. I don't know. And I was there.
Something must
Fuck
have
it.
clicked and hit.
Right.
I don't know if you motivated him or he motivated you, or it was something business. It was a new agent, an opportunity, whatever it was. The enthusiasm.
Right.
You and Michael were fucking like. You weren't playing like that tour before.
Once
I take
once I didn't
nothing away
have
from the way you
to.
guys played. You
No
played
offense.
great every night.
No offense to Mark Allen Stewart, because Mark Allen Stewart, for all his faults or whatever I don't like about how he handled certain things, that dude at least was never out to fuck Michael. Like, he was the one dude that helped Michael that actually cared a little bit. You know what I mean? He wasn't out to hurt Michael or anything like that. So, like, but with that said, he had no idea about the music business. So once we broke off from Mark, I think we just had a little more freedom to actually do things that were relevant to what we're fucking.
That would happen right away. That happened right away.
Not right away. Maybe another year, or
Yeah, I
maybe
was
half
gonna
a
say.
year. Yeah.
He was still in the page
But
because
yeah, like once we broke away from that, we started to do things that were a little more relevant to fucking being a band. You know, we weren't trying to fucking be on Survivor or fucking, you know, all
I'll
the
tell you this,
bullshit that we
sure.
were fucking doing.
Oh no, listen. I mean, yes. Listen, Mark Allister was doing the best to his capability, and he
Yeah.
produced. I don't think that he was the right guy for us, but
No.
he worked. He worked. He did
He wasn't.
stuff. It wasn't the best suited stuff. I think a lot of the reason I didn't like Mark Allen Stewart was Michael. I wasn't wild about the guy, but he wasn't a bad man.
No.
He came into a situation. He was trying to manage a messed up business, and he came in and he fucking was trying to clean things up. And unfortunately, he didn't know the history of people he came before, and he fucking pissed some people off.
Yeah.
From what I understand, you know, like a lot of people, like clubs that would work with, people we would regularly work with, he was getting new people, and you know, Michael tends to go along with those things, the respect for the situation, whatever it is.
Yeah, that definitely happened, but at least, you know, I could just
But
say
what I'm
from all
saying-
the managers that we've had that I've had to
Mark
deal
Allen
with
Stewart
in
was
my
far,
life,
no,
he was not a bad person.
he did his
just-
job. I don't agree with all of his moves and what he did and why he did it. And his job was to create content and
Right.
generate money, and he did it. He
Which he most
absolutely
certainly
did.
Yeah.
Yes, he most certainly did. Fucking at an all-time high. I would tell you too high.
Yeah, there was just a lot of corny things, and he really didn't know anything about the
So
music
much
industry.
corny. Everything was corny, and that's where my heart was out of it too.
Yeah.
You know, it was like this guy doesn't know anything about what we're doing, and all I know is that.
Remember those first
I know
few shows
everybody
back?
we should be working with, and you guys trust this guy to fucking like at least let me fucking handle fucking that shit, you know. Right. But I'll tell you, I always resented the when we would sit in there, and I don't like the only time I ever resented. I don't need to be the star of the band. I don't want to be the star of the band. I want to be in the band. I want to be part of the band. I was well used to Michael doing all the interviews. I didn't want to do the interviews. That's not the point of what I'm saying. But if you watch for fucking years, man, I would sit in the fucking dressing room and hear, we would be on tour doing all this crazy shit. All this awesome stuff was happening. And these interviews would just be about fucking Mark Allen Stewart writing the songs and shit. I'm like, what did you say? He wrote the songs? I'm like, he didn't write the song. They're like, you wrote that song. You know, like that guy didn't even play guitar. Like, so, like him naming the songs, coming up with the concepts. If I went to Michael 2 times and said, "Hey, dude, we should fucking write this song called Night of the Living Dead. Ready, go." You know, like there's 2 Night of the Living Deads, right? Am I wrong? No one ever would have gone with it, bro. You know, like no one would have listened to that. I was fucking damn suited for those things, man. You know, so to me, it was like we're out here busting hump all day, fucking doing this. At that point, what
There
like,
was there
I
was
I
a
was
couple
there
of
for
Night of
4
the Living
tours.
Deads and like 5 zombies.
Yes, you know, like and then like they do like this whole cool silent horror movie thing, and fucking it would be it just looked like a goddamn Blitz Kid video. They were writing songs called "I Walk with a Zombie," completely unaware of fucking Wednesday 13,
Yeah.
and just dumb shit like that I was like that would drive me crazy. The tour posters that we would have, the artwork, it was like we were outsourcing outside of anything that had anything to do with us to the corniest shit,
Right.
just so it was his resource or something. I don't know. I I always felt it wasn't that I personally felt slighted or I personally wanted that or felt I didn't deserve that attention or kudos, but it was one of those situations where it's like what I'm best at isn't being taken advantage of. And I'm enthusiastic about those things. And what I like most about this situation is exactly what it is, aside from being on the road, which, you know, I'd been on the road a whole bunch at that point. You know, like it fucked up shit happens on the road. All sorts of fucked up shit happens. And after you're a kid and you start doing that shit, it's fun and fucking it's exciting. It's an experience. Once you've fucking been on, I'd been on 18, 19 coast to coast tours at that point. I was good, man. I was into doing that for myself. And I would go out for myself and do that and let shit happen. It would be worth it because I was building up something that I had control of. I was enthusiastic about that had no ceiling, that was growing. You know, like Graves was at a ceiling at that point. Graves is, you know, to that point, we were at the ceiling of the situation. Without taking the next step of him going full misfits like that. You know, like that was what it was. That was how far he was going to take it at that point. You know, like wasn't gonna go farther than it was then. And fucking, you know, that was the thing to me about Darrow is like it's like we just fucking put this whole thing together and did this and got it all going, put everything together. And I should be, you know, like if I'm going to be in these situations, man, I should be doing what I love. Not that I didn't love doing that. Just I felt like I was around fucking people who didn't love what they were doing a lot, you know. And like I was an outsider in that band, which is very strange to me because I fucking grew up in that and around you guys and fucking, you know. But like the camaraderie and we came back to the situation all different ages. We were adults. You know, the last time me, you, and Michael worked together like that, we were kids. You know, a lot had happened, man. But yeah, I was fired. Well, my point is that I don't think Mark Allen Stewart was the right fit for the job, although he did do his job
Right.
well. And I don't think he was a bad man either.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you this, like I had either a conference call or a email chain, you know, fucking 4 or 5 months after fucking I had heard from anybody and I quit. Like leaving, I got into Goolsby, fucking, I left fucking Phoenix, didn't drive home with y'all, got in Goolsby's van, finished Goolsby's tour, and I had heard shit from nobody. And I got a call from Michael, or I got a conversation with Michael where me and Quincy were accused of just absurd shit that was absolutely and in no way fucking true or real. I don't know why I'm being around the bush. Jason Cohn booked a fucking fundraiser for stolen gear. And it was somehow, I don't know if this is an excuse to get rid of us or what the fuck it was, or just miffed that I quit and wanted to fire me. That happens to a lot of bands. No one's a monster for that. I get it. You know, these don't like when you, especially singers don't like when you quit. They want to fire you. You know, like, I get it. It's probably pissed at me. Fucking, I don't blame him. But fucking, I got this email that me and Quincy were accused. I guess a lot of people were like doing fundraisers for us and donations apparently for the band, and it was getting out of control. Like, and money wasn't going to the right places and stuff. I had no idea what was going on with it. I really didn't. But all of our friends and the people around us wanted, just like the first time when you wanted to do it. People were always contacting us and wanted to do something to raise money for us so we can get gear again. And I couldn't initiate that situation, you know, because I hadn't spoken to any of y'all, and shit was weird, you know, like, so I was in no place to tell anyone anything. And me and Quincy worked at Dingbats at the time. I guess the whole thing, the proof in the pudding to me was wild. Like, it was so obvious to me and Quincy weren't doing it. That Jay was putting on this show, and for some reason it was thought that me and Quincy were putting on a fundraiser for ourselves, or that me and Quincy hadn't asked to put on that show.
Right.
And like, me and Quincy hadn't talked either. You know, so we're like, what? Quincy was like, fuck you. I don't think Quincy even stuck around or got fired or even had the conversation. He probably just didn't read it and didn't reply. But I replied because I guess they presumed because it was in Clifton that they thought we were putting on a fundraiser for ourselves, and we weren't. Someone else put it on. It was at Clash Bar. It wasn't at Dingbats.
Right.
If me and Quincy were going to put on a fucking fundraiser, wouldn't we do it at the venue that we always play that we also happen to work at? We could have fucking 100% ran that ourselves. We did. That's what we did all day long. Why would we throw it at another club in the same town that is smaller and shittier? The only reason that show was there was because Jay booked it. Because Jay didn't book shows and Jay hated Dingbats. He had bad blood with those people. So, I mean, like, to us, it was like, the fuck would we throw a fucking benefit for ourselves at Blue Room? It's all our friends' bands. Why wouldn't our friends' bands get together and throw a benefit show for us? No, I mean, the argument might have been that it was the way it was billed, that it was Michael Graves' fucking fundraiser or whatever.
Right.
Correct. Jay should have contacted Michael before advertising something like that. Absolutely. But Joe didn't put on that show. Joe wasn't receiving anything from that show. I had nothing to do with it. And it was put to me like, yeah, okay. It's like, we know what you're doing, bud. Fucking stop. You're out. You know, like, and at that point, I fucking fired back. Well, like, then what is going on? You know, like, because in the background of it, yeah, we were getting asked fucking like Dingbats wanted to throw one too. The one that he was presuming that we were throwing or was being thrown for us or whatever it was, I would never throw myself a fundraiser. Neither would Quincy. We'd be probably the last two people to. It's just absurd in and of itself. And if we did, I don't know, it's like throwing yourself a fucking birthday party. You know, like, it's just, you know, it's corny, dude. But yeah. Point of the story, bud. So that situation got heated. You know, the emails back and forth got ugly. It to me, it was just bizarre, out of nowhere. Really, I was being accused of weird shit, man. I was being accused of, I'll never forget the word demonizing. I was demonizing Michael. I hadn't fucking spoke to anybody. I hadn't done fucking nothing, and I certainly didn't throw a benefit show for myself. You know, like, so to me, it was like, whatever, man. I'm fucking new. I'm whatever, dude. I was expecting nothing in fucking anyway. I was lucky. Why would I have talked shit? My only move was to keep my mouth shut and hope that fucking we would get some type of relief for getting the gear stolen. It would have been a poor move for me to have. It was, you know, for me to have ousted myself or talk shit or demonized Michael would have been a poor move, dude. I would have been getting absolutely zero if that had happened. You know, and I'm not that stupid. You know, like, so of course I kept my fucking mouth shut. I didn't say fucking anything, so it was way wrong. Point of the story. Mark Allen Stewart, like in the middle of me and Michael firing back and forth, refereed it, fucking kind of de-escalated the situation. Michael was still very mad, or at least email mad. I don't know. I wasn't hearing his voice. And no resolve was reached. I was everything I was accused of, and that was that, and I couldn't prove him otherwise. And after that email chain had ended, Mark had written to me and fucking was awesome. He was like, listen, man, he's like, things are too far gone to fix at this point. Like what happened between you guys is unfortunate, fucking appreciate your fucking time doing anything here, fucking, but fucking that's how Michael feels. And in turn, that's how I feel as well. So I'm sorry. It was good doing business with you. Just that cordial email.
Right.
Left, like, I was like, that made me feel better about the whole situation, like in that way. And, I don't know if Michael knows that Mark wrote that or if that was calculated, but
yeah,
to me, that spoke to the kind of dude Mark Allister was. Like he could have just blindly stuck by Michael, did nothing but fucking and been angrier or just as angry.
Right.
I believe he initiated the message, to be honest with you. That started the fight, But like even as an opponent, he was a cordial businessman. I'm saying he wasn't the man for the job, but Mark Allister wasn't evil.
Well,
all right, guy.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate everyone. We're going 3.5 hours strong. I don't know how to have short tours, short podcasts, I don't know how to do things like in a short amount of time.
Listen, no, this doesn't count because I came fucking 45 minutes late.
Say it again?
I started 30 minutes in, 40 minutes in.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Jeff did 45 minutes of your podcast.
Yeah. It's my fault.
Thank you, Jeff, for...
Yes, thank you. And I apologize. I really don't know how that happened.
Central Time, Joe.
When I was like sitting on my couch smoking a cigarette, just waking up, taking my time when the podcast was already started.
Gosh, hey, that's not you.
I was like, I got 15 minutes until I gotta fucking be doing stuff hardcore. And it was then I'm like, I was supposed to be doing stuff hardcore 15 minutes ago. Shit. Or
hey, you know what I'm doing tomorrow?
What?
I am pre-recording a dual podcast with Jeff Frummis.
That's tomorrow? I'm looking forward to that episode, man.
It'll air on Wednesday. I guess we're going to do a split thing where I kind of like host my podcast and talk to him about his shit, and then we'll jump ship over to his podcast where he asks about my shit. So that's on Wednesday.
I haven't seen the Pizza Party podcast yet.
Say it again?
I haven't seen his new podcast yet. I watched a little bit of it. I didn't get it. Is it just a podcast and ate pizza?
Right, yeah.
Is it literally just like a podcast over a pie?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that I thought it was going to be a show, so I was confused by it, and I think I watched it a little bit and I stopped watching it. I was under the presumption that it was the Chromax, right? Or these? Is that who it's with? I'm not sure.
I wish I could get pizza, but I can't. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll pre-record tomorrow. That'll air Wednesday. I'll put the links out tomorrow when I know exactly how that's gonna pan out or whatever. But that should be interesting because Jeff is a very outspoken guy and he's had a lot of things to say. Some of which I agree with.
Informed.
Some of which I disagree with.
Knowledgeable,
yeah. And he's done a fucking bunch of stuff. And he's doing a bunch of stuff. So we'll talk to him
more than anyone knows even.
Yeah. So we'll talk to him about all the goings-ons about his stuff, and then I'll hop over to him and...
Listen, you got to pry him a little bit, man. He's got to fucking...
I don't think I'll have any problem getting that dude to talk.
Yeah, he's fucking certainly fucking opened up a bit.
He's a talker.
But I guess I say that. No, he's fucking very calculated, though, man. Fucking... Jeff's... got a lot of fucking... I don't want to call them secrets, but Jeff's got a lot on the
he's got a lot of stuff
on the back burner,
Yeah.
He's always has like secret projects and missions in the back that he's working on, like a bunch of them, and they're all ongoing. He's got a lot of cool ambitions that he doesn't reveal and works on for a while. Like, and he won't tell you about him. You can pry him a little bit. He might fucking tell you a little, but
what else is happening this week?
you got to work him, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So tomorrow, I'll do that pre-recording with Jeff. That airs Wednesday. On Friday, I'm on with Isaac Aldrich. He plays in Damnation, but he's also does Goolsby's band, Shadow Windhawk's band. Isaac's
know his last name. He's a great guy.
Really cool dude. He always
stayed at his house a couple times.
Offers his house for everyone that rolls through and plays in that area.
Damnation's a good band.
Me and Isaac bro down pretty hard. Next Wednesday, I got our boy Jay Tarantino from Angel Vivaldi. Should be, if you guys like guitar and shredding.
Fantastic guitar player.
Yeah.
Insane.
So that'll be a guitar nerd type of podcast. And then my friend Ray Sega's on Friday. He's actually releasing a video game with his album, and I downloaded the video game and got to play the video game. So
yeah,
it's
what's the platform?
It's it's a PC game, but it's very retro. It's like it's modeled
like
after like Legend of Zelda, like kind of like that. Yeah. And
not 16,
8.
16
8-bit.
Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I think it's more like 8-bit. Legend of Zelda style. And but he's also releasing a record, and like, it's a power metal record, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of shit going on too, and we've known him for a long time. He did that fucking show in Tupelo with us, if you remember. He was there. He's been around for a minute. So me and Ray Sega will catch up.
Yeah.
Zach Bassham will join me on the 21st.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
So we'll talk about.
Do you have him about Blackout Friday?
No, he's on Wednesday. But
you're crazy. It's going to be a Blackout Friday anyway.
It'll be a Blackout Wednesday, I guess.
It will be a Blackout Wednesday.
Because me and Zach,
I hope.
we broke down too.
Zach can put him back. The big bag can put him back.
It's always nice seeing him. He'll bring a nice thing of moonshine for you.
He's always happy.
He's always happy. He came down and visited. He was in Nashville for his wife had a teachers convention here, and we broke down in Nashville. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Johnny B. Morbid.
You ever?
Johnny B. Morbid joins me that Friday after Zach, and then I'll have Goolsby the week of Halloween on one of those days.
Of course.
Yeah. So October's filled up, dude. If I don't die of my appendix exploding tonight, then we'll have a good month.
That would be bad. Right? I don't think appendix hurts a lot, but it's not an awful surgery. It's not like life threatening.
That's
I don't
good,
think
because I don't have insurance
I think the recovery to it is pretty quick too.
Yeah.
I think my sister got her appendix out, and I didn't even fucking know about it.
Maybe I should just take it out preemptively. You'll take the shit out, dog.
I mean,
I think it hurts.
See how he knows a guy, right? See if Howie can hook you up. Those Canadians get everything free.
Right.
Maybe you join NIMV and you could fucking you have Nim take you out to and be his guitar player, right? And then work some citizenship or something that you're like part-time Canadian or something. Maybe we'll get you a Canadian girlfriend. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
That's what we need. That's what we'll get you health insurance.
Well, I am working on some stuff with the NIMVin people. When that's done, what you heard, he's probably going to release that as a Spotify single.
That thing you're working on?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that collaboration will go out on Spotify when it's ready.
That's a neat standalone track like that. It's neat that it's odd how it came together, and it's neat that he's gonna put it out. I don't know if I would put that out in Darrow, something like that. I would think it was awesme, but I don't know if
I think he has a TuneCore account, and he'll just fucking put it out as a single. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I guess his format is singles. He puts out a lot of singles, or
yeah.
I don't know. We always just did EPs. We never did shit like that.
Right. and I'm working on some secret stuff with him. We'll see how it goes. So, you know, I'm manipulating the strings in the
Canadians,
background.
you're infiltrating Canada.
I am infiltrating, yeah, lots of places.
I like it.
So, we'll see how that all goes. Joe, appreciate you.
Always.
We'll see everyone next time. I appreciate you guys sticking with us. Tony, you the man. Rick is working on artwork for us. It's called Monday Night Brash.
Monday Night Brash? That sounds like a rash, though. Oh, rash, like raw. I got you.
Right,
like,
right.
Is that what you mean? Is that the
Monday Night Brash?
Yeah. All right.
It'll just be us two pose in like wrestlers or something. I don't know. Fucking
Monday Night Brash is war, dude.
Yeah, Brash is war.
Brash is war. That's the back of your shirt, dude. That's the back print on your next shirt.
Fuck it, I'll see you guys next time. Yeah, I'll see you on Jeff's podcast and my podcast on Wednesday. Peace out, guys.